how they glamorize storage units. No, notice how they glamorize shipping yards. No, notice how they glamorize shipping containers. No, notice how they glamorize luxury cars. I don't know why, but I can't pass by all these red alerts on the land in the sky. Cause we see those islands, hear their crying. Why? It's my cry. I am hearing these things and it's all lining up. It's the people crowded into the truck, cross the border, farm behind the scenes. Yeah, there's traffic, hard traffic, if you know what I mean. No, notice how they glamorize storage. No, notice how they glamorize shipping. No, notice how they glamorize shipping containers. No, notice how they glamorize luxury cars. Once they got your addiction, you're caught, cause you want everything you've not got, but you've not got yet. But take a bet, your addictions will get you into regret. They ask for your name and you sign your will. Away it goes, all for a thrill, but the whistle is blown. They're coming out, cause we're starting to see what it's all about. No, notice how they glamorize storage. No, notice how they glamorize shipping. No, notice how they glamorize shipping containers. No, notice how they glamorize luxury cars. The blood and pain, no, we're hidden in plain sight. This torturing, this blame. Yeah, there's gotta be a way for a brighter day. Yeah, I refuse to let it be another way. No, notice how they glamorize storage. No, notice how they glamorize shipping. No, notice how they glamorize shipping danger.
Does it even matter if nobody's watching you? Is the tree falling down at all? Doesn't matter if no one is watching you. Do they even hear you fall? What are you falling for? What were you calling for? Not even real friends. But what is a friend? When does it all end? And
when will it's time, bend. And you're feeling like you're holding on to the only thing that's right. Cause you watch them cheat, you watch them beat. Can't break your grip, it's tight.
They try to beat you down with the sound of the drums lead on. They are leading you to a path that's true. So you just gotta carry on. Now, no, doesn't seem like there is another way. Oh, now, no, cause it's honestly so hard to say. Hard to say if the way is right up or down. Hard to say if you're wrong or right. Hard to say where to go, but the answer you know you are following it day and night. That's right. No, doesn't seem there's another way to go. Oh, no, the answer is telling you so far. You made it now and giving up won't do. The words are clear, can't spare no fear. Cause your answer is
they're telling you, yelling you all the time. You're saying you're wrong, that your game stops and your name drops. Yeah, they're mocking your words, your tone, on into your herd.
And your values so smart. Yeah, you know there isn't any other way. Your intentions are true. Yeah, you know what to do, so keep going and lead the way. Hey, no, lead them right. Oh, no, lead to this fight. It's a fight for truth, it's a fight for proof that what you saw wasn't right. You are not giving up, you are still standing tall. For the darkness will see this light.
can't stop till they're in trouble. Inflating, diluting, ashamed. Outdated, they're playing a crooked game. But that bubble, it must pop, 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 and your game stop. Let it don't build back on top as we boom our business to the top. Pop, 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 pop. Ooh, that's a bubble.
Fools can't stop till they're in trouble.
Inflating, diluting, ashamed, outdated. They're playing a crooked game, the past gated. But that bubble, it must pop, 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 and your game stop. Let it pull back on top, 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 as we boom our business to the top. Pop, pop. Stockholding, share owning, share and care with shares financially. You're a share owner, stockholding. Money represents what you wanna see. Let's talk a little bit about the stock market. Learn to play this game. Been there before. Cause you wanna talk the talk, wanna talk about the stock. Invest efficiently. You bought a stock, a share you like a lot. You believe in the future of this company. Stockholding, share owning, share and care with shares financially. You're a share owner, stockholder. Money represents what you wanna see.
Jump in,
Are you willing to lose?
game begins.
The price you choose?
Money in,
Wait and see. Keep score of
what your trades can be.
money goes in, buy a share.
That's a trade.
Money goes out, sell a share.
That's a trade.
Stockholders, share owning, share and care with shares financially. You're a share owner, stockholder. Money represents what you wanna see. Trades are not free, you buy it at a price. Too low, too high, well, you gotta think twice. Or 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you like a stock, research is great. Quarterly reports are your new best friends. 4 times a year, sharing information. Cut costs, things can change and rearrange. And prices won't always stay the same. Stockholder, shareholder, goodness gracious, beholder. She's holding money in company she believes he's shareholding, stock owning, goodness gracious, behold him. He's using money to fund the value. Stockholder, shareholder, goodness gracious, beholder. She's holding money in company she believes he's shareholder, stock owning, goodness gracious, behold him. He's using money to fund the value.
Don't you know the GameStop shutting down the lame bots can't even hold a fact-based argument? Ooh. Don't Don't you know the game stops when we're reading lots and lots, trying to figure out what dockets meant. In the bankruptcy, it just didn't seem like we'd be screwed. So you know what to do. Just go and read BB, cause tomorrow we'll see some true unwavering conviction come through. Yeah.
Whoa. We've got a crazy, looks like I have two songs going on there. So forget about the A-List America song. I'm like, oh my God, let me jump on really quick because it's my tax song and my A-List America song. What a glitch. I'm making tea right now. You know, I had like 1 more minute till this started, but we got to get that crazy song out of here. So welcome, you guys. So glad to have you here. My A-List song, America song is so amazing. I want to actually put it on. Let me find it really quick. We'll put that back on. Not make you guys listen to 2 songs at once. Whew, that was a close one. And then let's get started. You guys, this song's amazing. But let's find it. And then, write your questions in the chat. We've got a lot to talk about today. And honestly, I don't even know what all we're going to talk about. This time I'm letting Devin lead the way in a good way. Because I don't know. I just felt like the past, we did like, you know, the PowerPoint presentations the past few times, and they were awesome, but a bit like structured. So this one's going to be a bit more spontaneous. I don't know if the whole podcast, I don't know if our whole time is going to go 3 hours. We'll see how much we're talking. But let me put on A-List America. Let me put on A-List America really quick. You guys, this is an amazing song. And I don't know about you, but I'm pretty hyped about AMC lately. I actually, since the last podcast, doubled my position, which is pretty insane because I never thought, you know what I mean? Like years ago when I bought it at an average of like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I bought it freaking all different prices. And now it's like down 99.99%. But still, I'm like, oh my God, you really sound crazy when you say this kind of stuff. But first they say you're crazy, then they say you're a genius. And they don't say these stock prices are being manipulated, freaking kicked, derivative, swapped, blah, 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 all trying to trick people so that when they say stuff like this, they sound crazy. But now that it's 99.99% on sale, I was literally able to double my position. And now what's the freaking price today? Let's really quick pull that up. And then we'll get back into the song because Devin is joining momentarily. Oh, what's momentarily in another language? Anyway, let's see. I want to show you guys. We'll look at the price. Look at this price. Look at this beauty. Up. Oh, I'm looking at my computer. It's up. It's up from, why is it like locking? Before presenting, I have to remove that one. It is up, my friends. It is up and flying because of undeniable situations going on lately. The best Q2 in freaking history. They're selling out of their merch. The freaking Project Hail Mary and Super Mario. Things are really fun lately. And I'll say like one of the biggest things of all, I think, is Keith Gill, aka DFE's brother, talking about this stuff. Like that's a huge like social permission for people to actually look at AMC and be like, oh yeah, maybe it won't go bankrupt. And I know a lot of this is like, you know, up to the leadership and stuff, but you know, Adam Aaron has saved a number of companies before, so I think he's going to do it again. Okay. So let me play A-List America really quick. I'm going to grab my tea and then we'll get started because this is an amazing song and we have so much to do today. It'll be amazing. All right, here we go. A-List America. A-List America. Don't you want to go see a movie? You could take your friends and your family. Don't you want to be a reviewer? 3 times a week is so cooler. It's
A-list, 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 A-list. A-list, 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 A-list. A-list, A-list America. A-list, A-list America. A-list, 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 A-list America.
All right. Yeah, I'm just, a super fan of that song, my own music, and it is a fun idea to A-list America. Everyone can go to the movies, and people are going to the movies lately. And speaking of people, let's welcome up to the screen the co-host and co-leader of this wonderful, wonderful conversation, Devin. Dun, dun, dun. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. I like your AMC Red today.
Oh, yes. I'm going to go see the Super Mario movie after this. So I've been looking forward to see it. I didn't have a day off yet this week. So,
what have you heard about it so far?
well, I've been making nobody give me spoilers. So I know Yoshi's in it because he's on the cover. And I've seen a couple other actual, I think they're leading to a Super Smash Brothers movie. So, they're going to do a Zelda movie and a Donkey Kong movie and, all within the next couple of years here, like they were doing Avengers, kind of.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think that's going to be awesome because I like all of that stuff. I grew up on Nintendo, so it's exciting for me. I think it's going to be, as good as I expect it to be because the first one was pretty funny, so.
Yeah, I feel like a Super Smash Brothers movie would be really funny.
Yeah, they're just hitting I like when new things come out. I hate when they do Godzilla over and over, or when they're doing Harry Potter over and over. But it's cool to see old video games adapted now into new.
Yeah, Zelda is gonna be amazing.
Right, if they do that right, it's gonna just be so cool. But they did Mario cool. I wouldn't have imagined kind of, how the old game was levels. They kind of incorporated that idea into the movie in a silly way. But it's cool. If you saw the first one, I don't know if you did, but
no.
Oh, okay. It's he has to jump through pipes and obstacles and shit. But it's part of their traveling. So it's weird that they tied video game mechanics into the movie storyline. So it's not weird. There's no awkwardness about it. It was a smooth.
That makes me think of the movie. What was it? It was blah 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 versus the world, and it had Michael Cera in it, right? And it was
I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was a video game.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, that was a really cool movie. And speaking of movies, I've got my popcorn here to celebrate AMC.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like we have a million things we could talk about. And I know you have maybe some articles and stuff prepared. So I don't know if you want to get into that first, or if we want to talk about kind of this recent AMC price bump that's a little unignorable. And I'd actually really be curious to hear what you think. Okay, really quick. I years ago, all I did was just watch all these YouTubers constantly streaming and talking about, the prices and looking at the graphs and the charts and the price predictions and, all this different stuff. And everyone was constantly hyped. And that's the era where it was going up and then it slowly went down. And now it's only been going down for freaking 4 years, or going plateauing, GameStop situation. So lately I've been watching, just seeing what is the sentiment as AMC is kind of, at least I was watching it this weekend, AMC is kind of trending up, and it's probably exactly what short sellers don't want to see happening. And I know they have like quote unquote infinite money and infinite ways to keep it down. So what do you think's happening now that the price is going up? Do you think it's fake? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's undeniable? What do you think's going on here?
Okay, well, it's hard to be excited. Well, I wouldn't say most.
Don't say it's hard to be excited. I'm like literally excited every day. But okay, I like this balance. I like this balance. Because by the way, you were like, I'm gonna wait till it goes down again. I'm like, what the heck? How can it go down?
So like, it's like that. There's like my will is split in two inside me. Like part of me wants this to happen already because I have a large position, but like I still want to buy more too. So it's we'll just see what happens. So I've been already on this ship, but so we've been talking about so a few things.
Wait, pause. When's enough? Because like at what point are you like, okay, I've got enough now and I'm ready for MOASS, or like, you know what I mean? If we're waiting on you to be ready, when is that?
It's like I have thousands of shares. I'm going for tens of thousands of shares now, and then once I have tens of thousands of shares, then you're going for hundreds of thousands. Like, I don't know. That doesn't stop either. So just whenever you stop being able to buy at a good price, because it does move. But so the move was like really small, but a lot of people were able to average down so heavy that like in the last 5 days, it's up 30%. So
right,
it's going to be a little easier to pull a lot of people into the green. And so, like, I don't expect apes to be selling, but what I'm looking at now is, so AMC they got approved, so they can dilute to like up to like 1 billion share float. And so it's like they have these shares on reserve,
right?
And they currently have about 500 million issued. Like for easy math, we'll leave it like rounded at 500 million. And so they have 500 million more shares. They could just unload.
At like $8, they could pay off all their debt.
Exactly. So like there's really no room for this thing because we're just going to keep buying this thing at the low, or it's going to go up a little bit and then our debt is gone. And then there's no argument for this thing. So
give me a break.
And that is like reflecting the sentiment about the trend lines on the graph. So it's like as this thing gets pushed into its little corner, then like those lines become the facts on the table. Like the line that's like keeping it as a resistance from going up is like that it's the debt corner versus AMC's ability to just rapidly pay it off versus like the line on the bottom where it's like apes keep buying the floor. So it's like they can't get out of that wedge. If they move it up or down out of the channel, we either buy 10 more floats and drown them, or it breaks above their threshold and we drown them. So that they're like,
wow,
the game is ending for these guys.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that's the thing too, is like now kind of like, oh, I saw something on Twitter and it was like what they never expected were that also like non-apes and people just like standing in line in AMC would be like, wait a minute, it seems like this business is doing all right. Wait, their stock is $1. Okay, I'm going to buy it. You know what I mean? It's like now even like people who haven't been paying attention for a long time are also seeing this opportunity.
Yeah, like I'm like zen about it and just decide to shut up at this point because like so many people just hate on you for being involved with this company, and now other people are just coming to me talking to me about like, I'm going to the movies this week, and I'm like, good, this is good.
Yeah,
I don't have to do the grunt work bringing it up anymore.
That's so true. Actually, like literally, I think on Friday and Saturday, like first of all, on Friday, my students had to leave early because he and a bunch of his friends were going to the movies to go see Mario. And then I was like on the light rail on the way home on Saturday, and like this group of guys was all talking about how they'd just seen Project Hail Mary. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, like I don't know. You know, I don't hear like too many like random conversations in my day, and like 50%.
Yeah, I want to see that one too. So I'm gonna have to.
Have you read the book?
Get a couple tickets.
Have you read the book?
Nope.
Okay, great. I read the book, so the whole time I was just kind of like waiting for the ending because I knew how to end. But I imagine that's like the greatest movie ever to see when you don't know what's gonna happen. So you'll have to give a review next time.
I'm like a movie guy. It's hard for me to sit through a book sometimes. I can read a good book, but
Yeah, it was a good. That's like literally the last book I read.
my adult focus isn't always there. Sometimes I have to really want to get a goal out of that book to hit it nowadays. But
Yeah, it was like part
I
of
read
a
a lot
book
on the
club
internet.
that I was in. What'd you say?
I read a lot on the internet.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's like data and stuff that I've been into reading most. I spend a lot of time reading, but yeah, I've been into stocks lately, so that consumes like a lot of my reading.
Totally. I feel like I've been in this mood where like I don't even want to watch. I haven't watched a TV show in years. I've hardly watched any movies because I don't know. For some reason, the movie lineup didn't interest me the whole past year. I feel like some of them are about so much of them are about like murder or weird stuff.
Yeah, like Netflix, like half of everything on there already, probably more than half, but there's narratives in there, and then like all the shows will kind of run the same script almost. So it's like hard to sit through some of those. I can't do some of the shows either. So.
Yeah, I saw something recently by Ryan Gosling where he was like, it's up to the movie makers to save the movies, not the people.
Yeah, because they kind of like control a lot of this stuff.
And people will go see a great movie. But if there's
Right.
shitty movies, people aren't going to go see them.
Well, I think that's why the thing Taylor Swift did with AMC, where they were like allowing artist submissions, and that's really good long term because now they can like discover stars that are like doing independent work that
Ooh.
they can kind of pull in appropriately for commercial advertising or movies or like even probably like music and arts here as like kind of P. Diddy cracks open more, and it's going to set new precedents for industry. And we're still all watching what's going to go down with Ticketmaster as like antitrust laws hit the table, especially if AMC is about to blow up, because antitrust was a big thing that Adam Aaron has been dealing with in this company. And that has to do like some of the things that we see about that is like if Adam Aaron has non-public disclosed information and he can't talk about it, it's like a direct conflict of interest at all times that he has to operate under between shareholders and investors, and then banks that do loans, and then the customers that go through the theater. So there's like a multi-front social web that is weighed on by a long-term like court policy, like for example, the SEC. And so Adam Aaron has a really good track record of his business. If you look at his Wikipedia page.
That's what I was going to say. He saved like a bunch of companies from bankruptcy.
Right. And then so now you can look at AMC's numbers, not only recovered since COVID when we were looking at like that revenues per quarter chart from AMC where it shows it go down for COVID and then it's like restored for a couple years. And now those numbers are going up even more. So we're about to be like in the profit zone, and like it's just, this is on top of like the ammunition of shares that I was just talking about that Adam Aaron has. So if he has 500 million shares that he can like drop on the market if the price does move. And now we're talking that a move back up to its all-time high of $700 or so, according to the graph after the reverse split and combination of the ape unit and stuff, the AMC would have to move like 40,000%. And you can go look at companies that like Berkshire Hathaway and like AutoZone, and they've already moved 50,000% in the last that's what I'm talking about. That is on your screen right now. And so with AMC, you sell at the top and you buy at the bottom. So like we pretty much got the entire S&P 500 inflated to the top, and then you got AMC pushed so far down below like logic,
right?
Fundamentals. So, and now we're talking about it's only going to be a 500% move where AMC can just pay off all its debt like very effectively. So like And AMC will make the move around that zone because it's going to be like forced mechanics probably going on, and then like the buy volume is going to be there at that price point. And so I don't expect it to go up to $700 and then Adam Aaron sells like 10,000 shares and the debt's gone. It's going to be like probably will dilute to 1 billion shares, and the price is still going to go up a ton. Like that's going to be like demand. And so then that's going to have also like shadow demand behind it if they're having unwinding leverages.
I mean, what are they going to do when suddenly AMC has no debt? And by they, I mean like short sellers and haters and mainstream. I mean, that's like their last like thing they're holding on to.
It would be even better. And so AMC could get to a point where it's like GameStop, where it acquires a large amount of cash at one time, and they can just covenants and start making interest and loans and like the super creditor, like they've already made moves like that. They do crypto exchange, and then they'll immediately exchange the crypto into US dollars. So they're never holding crypto.
Wow. I literally never even thought about the fact that AMC could be
well, they did credit cards.
They might do like some freaking, they might be a Berkshire Hathaway in the making. You know what I mean? Just like the right behind.
Well, and you almost have to, because the way the economy is, if the government is going to print money for holding companies, like Berkshire Hathaway, for example, as like the bailout instrument of like the S&P 500, then you have to become a holding company to even fit in the economy in its current trajectory. Like they're not going to like sponsor anything else. So like that's why the business model for survival now is at play. It's like you pretty much have to just start acquiring assets and shedding the business. And you can see every company doing it. All the big companies are just mass laying off everybody to maintain profits. And then the problem with that is you can't do that year after year after year after year, because if you have 100,000 employees and you're one of the largest companies in the world and you fire 30,000 of them every year, well, you can only do that 3 years in a row before you don't even have that many employees to do it with again. And they're doing this to like maintain profitability. Like the revenues drop, so they like fire that many employees. So it's like, look, our revenue is still the same as last year, even though the revenue went down a lot. But they had to fill the hole with firing a bunch of employees so they don't lose.
Instead of like training employees how to use AI, having like this massive epic team of people like helping you become
that's happening at the same time. They're trying to replace those jobs with AI, so it doesn't actually hurt the bottom line. But it's like
that doesn't work like that.
Some jobs can be automated. You can't just.
But I'm saying, like, what if you like equipped? What if you turn each employee into like a super employee and they're using AI and like you give them the tools to like, I just feel like it's so short-term thinking in some of this.
It can't be done because like the price of
tokens or whatever.
It's the banks having changed the banking system from like, if you take a loan, you pay it off or you default, to, we're going to have debt that we never pay off now. And so it just, it created a problem that never gets fixed on purpose. So it's going to be like never enough for everybody to go around, because they are always looting it all at the tune of 8% APR per year on every loan they ever give anybody, while they never pay back debt. And now we're paying more interest than taxpayers collect total. So like now it's too big to swallow, as this problem has been exacerbated for like 300 years. So it's like this generation is really dealing with a lot, because it's not only the super cycle of every 80 years, it's like the 400-year super cycle landing on this 80-year super cycle at the same time. So like not only are there like overlapping leverage magnitudes in the market at play, but we have like time cycle leveraged old debt. And the problem with that is it's not owed to anybody. It's like owed to the earth, inherited. Like how it would have defaulted would be in like an ETF basket. So it doesn't actually default. It's tethered to other stuff that's like not defaulted yet, like Evergrande type scenarios. So like the whole market, and AMC and GameStop are just looking like they're having some good opportunities lined up amongst some of these things, because the weight of some of these things I'm talking about is massive. Like market wide massive. So like we really are talking about it. If a correction happens in a couple companies like this, it's going to correct the whole S&P 500.
Wow. I'm just laughing though, because when you just said like the smartest sentence ever, like something like overlapping leverage cycles and I'm like, oh my gosh, someone, even me, should like take the sentence you just said and like break down what each of these words means. And I feel like if more people could start understanding like these, just do you not think if people learned like 50 more vocabulary words, like in general, suddenly like the entire financial structure would collapse? They'd be like, wait, that means that means that, you know what I mean? It's like this
I'd
barrier.
say that in a different way. Like, think about how, like, I'm pro humanity. I like people, but like, think about how dumb the average person is. It's like not a good statistic right now, especially amongst like,
Yeah.
education has gone downhill.
Dude, I've worked in schools where the teachers getting promoted are letting kids cheat. Like they literally just put the answers up on the page and they say like,
It's
clock
not
me.
about teaching, it's about them keeping their job. And then the job market got toxic and demanded like Holocaust style to continue. Like, it's like the people in the Holocaust weren't like, oh, I'm just gonna kill people. They were just doing their job until it got bad, because like the policy eroded the work environment over time until it was like not a work environment. It was like the whole monster of what the Holocaust was. And so like the same elements are kind of like repeating. And
Or it's like you never thought you'd go into being a teacher, just literally.
also
having
now they're doing the
six
job
weeks,
that
but now we
do
just got a freaking $20,000 raise.
no
Those
one's
are
becoming
things.
a teacher to like make the world better. They're becoming it just to like
Yeah,
barely
there are.
the table. Like,
No,
I know, and it's like I get it. Maybe they
but
do
those ones are exhausted.
do it, but teachers like embody that less today, and I don't blame the teachers. It's like the work environment is more hostile. Like they're all afraid to get laid off, and like they have to work summers and like long hours, and the kids are more disrespectful today. And then we have like other issues that like lead to broader societal behaviors, like
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
into like the
it's like cool to like goof
group
off and stuff. But
stereotype.
I have like ideas for how to fix that.
I was
I
going to
think-
make a point
oh, go
about education. What was the original question that you asked me? I started talking about teachers, but
Well, no. Well, I want to say two things. One, I'll tell you what I was going to say, but two, I have an idea of how to fix it. Is like we need to like literally make reality TV show. I have the idea called Project, and it's like Project Runway, but instead it's like we just need to like glamorize education more and make it more cool to be a teacher and cool to pay attention and learn. And like the teachers will all be like, okay, this week you have to make like a volcano. And then like each teacher comes up with like an amazing project, and then you interview the kids, and here was the teacher interesting. I always think about, the game Civilization and how like there's different ways you can win, and you can win culturally. And Peter Hans even talked about this before. Like we need to like update our culture and our media and everything and make it more like pro positive behaviors. And I think so much is like of TV and media that kids are consuming is like goofing off in school and gossiping the whole time and just like focusing on sort of like superficial things. And school is just sort of like a place to, flirt or get into trouble or, like, oh, detention again. You know what I mean? It's never actually on like learning and building like smart humans and logic and pattern recognition. I mean, but it was, the Rockefeller education curriculum or whatever, and the freaking Ghislaine Maxwell's writing all our textbooks. So, the system isn't working for us. That's my one comment.
And you're right though, like the whole deal too is like the negativity within the information. Because if it was like if Epstein was a positive message thing, if it wasn't about like child
like tricking kids and freaky stuff.
Yeah, if he was like trying to be real life Santa Claus, like it would just be a whole different story. Like you know what I mean? And it would.
But the people running this are like brainwashing and tricking everyone into like.
And it's a psychological element because like if kids are just exposed to negativity all day every day, they can't like focus and like
Monkey see, monkey do, you know?
better things. Like it's like
And there's the data, like the
propaganda.
top, there's data like the top 5 people you spend most of your time with are like who you most become. And actually, that's why I started getting into YouTube and watching all these like smart people on YouTube, because I was like, okay, well, let me hang out with these like people my age that are millionaires and stuff and like start learning from them. And not in like the superficial, I want money kind of way, but more in like, I want to be able to build the change that like the world needs. I don't know. I'm one of the teachers like trying to help the world. So,
No, I see you do a lot. You're always like making graphics for. I seen you even do like a babysitter course, and it's like
yeah.
For
I'm doing lots of stuff trying to like empower kids. And
that could actually be helpful to a certain group. Like going into that, it's like very specifically oriented for like that would have helped my sister when she was like 12. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
like, you found like a good target about that, and I seen you do like other stuff too, but you're out here like doing the work, you know.
I'm trying to freaking, you know, fight back. I'm trying to fight back against all this stuff. And you know, even, I mean, just really quickly, even yesterday I was teaching these kids and I had like a plan, and then I was like, by the way, what do you guys want to talk about? And it ended up coming up where they were asking like, if a house is like creepy, do I need to babysit there? You know what I mean? And I was like, no, absolutely not. And then we talked about ways to get out of like creepy situations, you know? And I think kids like need those tools to not always feel like you need to be polite and accommodating. And, you know, you can just like stand up for yourself and say like, I'm done with this. Like, I need to go. So, you know, it kind of relates to
ideally like
the markets.
Young doing it, like parents are overseeing like the whole kind of negotiation, because like I don't have kids, but I wouldn't send my 12-year-old to some person's house without knowing, like going and seeing that house.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And meeting the people and stuff. But like my parents did that when I was a kid. If like I had a friend over or something, that parents would meet and stuff, you know, and it's like, but part of that back into like what we're talking about, the education quality declining. So has like the family standard. We got like maxed out divorce rates and like feminism and like low birth rates, and then like all-time high of dads skipping out and single moms empowerment, and like, so now what does that do to the kids? Because like now we don't have any family oriented units, and the kids are all like definitely
no examples.
Like so then that just aids them being like, oh yeah, we can trash the curriculum and just teach them how to be
paying attention, or they're paying attention to other stuff.
Well, and so like, while that narrative sounds super extreme, it's the same argument as propaganda and fear being everywhere. Yeah. So that society's just worse. And then if education's just worse, and then they're teaching Japanese kids algebra in kindergarten, and we're over here picking our nose, like that is not good for this country. Like it's literally
happened. I mean, when I was living in China, like the kids were like literally doing algebra in like before kindergarten. And yeah.
There's a fine line. Like, I don't think you should like have kids so disciplined and like no fun.
No, but literally, like we were having fun too. It's just kids are really smart. And you can
is like way more guided and not narrative plugged in.
Yeah,
so it's scary right now. Public school.
But at the same time, like you and I, it's like it's not that we're not having fun. Like I'm literally loving like the past few years learning about all the stocks and learning like more financial literacy and how all this works. So, you know, it's like humans enjoy being challenged. So, you know, like we just give people dumb stuff. I saw something too. Like, have you heard that? Like, about like how if you put a mouse in a cage with either water or cocaine or something, like it will do the cocaine. But I saw them, they did again that same experiment where they put like the mouse in like a super exciting like room with all this stuff to do, and then it like wasn't even touching the drugs because it had like so much to do with its time that, you know. So it's like, yeah, when you're bored you lean into these like things that, you know, distract you, but when actually you're in like a proper environment with plenty to do, you keep yourself busy. I don't know.
Right, the stimulation thing.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying before though is it would be really cool. Oh, that's what I was asking you, is like if people understood, just like if people had more understanding of how financial markets worked, and I guess, yeah, wouldn't the world be different? But that's kind of where you're saying, dude, it's not just financial markets. It's literally everything in the world that we don't understand, that like the average human doesn't understand, because we're at an all-time low of intelligence.
Yeah, and it's just because like actually I think like we're living in the most intelligent society, but then the problem is like it's if that was true and we can all get on the internet and communicate, it would be like a fair public square. But it's so moderated.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if there are 100 ideas that hit the table and they only let the 5 that they like get out, and then they
Yeah.
pick 5.
Even like the freaking BBBYQ community is getting all shut down and moderated, and super stonk where they're like, sorry, you can't post that because like it says, you know, certain keyword. It's so much censorship.
Right. You used the word GameStop in the GameStop forum, so we're gonna just take your post down. It just does. The logic isn't even there now about a lot of that, and then
so much corruption.
Well, and then the fact that you can just go on Reddit and pay for your post to get promoted. So any billionaire can just like have dog shit promoted to the max while like every other post get buried. It's like whoever paid. It's the same thing as Taylor Swift owning music. Like once Reddit IPO'd, like they just like it's pretty much their confirmation. Like, yes, we're bought out now by the systematic crap you all hate, and now we're gonna delete all. It's words.
Reddit's becoming the opposite of what it was like meant to be.
We're gonna reset what Reddit even means, and now their stock went up like Robinhood did the whole time. So like, it's gonna probably move with the broader S&P 500 during a correction because if they're tethering assets,
Ugh, I keep getting all these stupid Robinhood ads all the time lately. Like, when you increase your crypto, like, oh my God.
There's a whole other thing that, like, the guy who invented the internet pop-up, like, he came out, made a video at a later point, like, I regret creating that because the government went and took and used it for, like, all the propaganda that it ever does now. Like just that one mechanism, like, you know what I mean? Like how to use that tool that way when he discovered to like, oh, I can make a pop-up by writing the code like this. And then that was like new things back then when it was, because that redefined modern advertising. And so now you get, just paid pop-ups. And then a lot of that stuff's not even filtered. So it's like, it's a hard sell to let kids get on the internet because they'll like book burn everything about things we should probably learn, but then you can just get like pop-ups of bad companies and probably like inappropriate images and just all day. And so if the internet was unmoderated, it would just be like more fair, maybe a little more vulgar, but then the government tries to impress on culture like, oh, we need to be politically correct. So then that makes everything fake. Like now nobody can be real because they don't want to step on other people's toes. And then it's just not how to live because you don't live to, and it's not that I don't care about what other people think or whatever, but like, I don't care about what other people think. Like and it's not my problem to like make everyone like me. I'm not going to people please everybody because just me having my face, somebody's going to hate me. Like people don't like everybody, and then that's fine. But it's not my responsibility to be a people pleaser. And then so when the government's like, oh, we have to be political correct and everyone's a people pleaser, we're all going to pay taxes and socialism for everybody, but we're going to call it something better so you're not mad about it. And it doesn't work at some point because it's too fake, like for lack of a better term. And there's this I sent you a video, the professor who kind of breaks down like long-term business dynamics, and he'll break it through like religion aspects and science and like psychology and then like culture and the long-term development of like a lot of these things and how they all come together. Yeah, so like I would say just like watch this whole clip. Okay, so this guy does like a lot of clips and then a lot of them are good.
Yeah.
And this whole hour of him talking is like so good. But we don't have to like sit through
Of
that.
course, it's like an hour. It's an hour. But yeah, if anyone's curious, it's pretty wild. Like I said, it's pretty wild what he gets into.
Yeah, and he's basically talking about, this is a recent video. It came out like this week. And he's pretty much talking about like the mechanisms of a market collapse. And then
But his handwriting, he can slow down anyway.
right, you can see how he's kind of laying it out. And if his handwriting's hard to read, like he's discussing all of it. So you can follow him really easily if you actually watch the video. But yeah, this is the part I was talking about. He's if you understand not only like the broader economy like this, but I can visualize like one company this way, or like the company within it, all the other companies as a group this way.
But exactly the way he breaks it down, he talks about how like when this is your goal, then first you can use all these ways to make it seem like you use education and media and blah blah to normalize and reinforce these mindsets, and then you can add on these like religion or these different like nationalism or stuff to split people apart, and then you use these other mechanisms to build it back together. Like it's all like it all makes perfect sense when you actually just break it down and realize like the overall, when you super zoom out and see like what's really
the layers and mechanisms like the algorithm uses to like maintain and promote propaganda. It's the same one like businesses use as with their fundamentals. Like it's all like social behavior based, and then like that's it's part of how like they'll share power through it. Today it's megacorp, like businesses have the ball is in their play right now, as opposed to like, so probably we're moving into now a new economy where that ball is going to get handed to the government again, because it's always going to be like a handoff of this power, whether it goes to religion or like, but okay, so religion actually has associated itself with big business today. Like the Vatican moves like billions of dollars, you know what I mean? It's like it's a business now, so it's not quite its own pillar right now because of how it's so tethered. So after like a market correction, probably that's going to run through big religion too, because if a lot of these big mega churches are plugged into charities or whatever that just like functional at some point. So now we're looking at like, that's how at the beginning of this thing in 2021, it was like retail versus banks and governments.
Okay.
But then when shit hit the fan and then banks had the gun pointed at them, government kind of was like, oh, we're just going to step out of the room over here. Like, and then, so now they came back with a new plan where they're going to join retail and be against the banks. And it takes this whole amount of time to organize that. And then, so now 5 years later in 2026, it's been one policy at a time as AMC got back into this corner. And in the same sense, shorts have gotten back into like the social corner about like leverages they're able to still use, and like their banking friends they're able to still call. And as like a lot of their web has been falling apart over the last 5 years. So now key components of their leverage factory they can't use at certain times. And if it's always been based on, oh, we always have a leverage for any problem, and then all of a sudden they can't pick their favorite 3 leverages when they have a really big problem, they're going to not be able to handle it at some point. And so we're there. AMC just touched $1 where they would probably, media would just love for it to stay under $1 for 3 months and declare bankruptcy. But it was under $1 for like 2 days, and then it just bounced at 30%. And
right.
So I was trying to buy shares the whole time. And it's so wild because like I use the same account to buy shares and I'll direct register them. But so I have a friend, Corey. You met him before, but he doesn't like do shares. And then I was like, Corey, you should get some shares. They're really cheap.
Non-financial advice, but go get some shares.
He's always listening to what I say about it. And so he's like, yeah, you know what? It makes sense. It's a good price right now. I'm doing good. I'm going to get some shares. So then on the same day, we bolt transfer money. And so
Did he get shares at $1?
I buy more shares than him. So he transferred $100 to get 100 shares. And then he did. He was able to get it. But so I transferred like $1,000 to get 1,000 shares. And then so we both transferred the same day. And his got approved after 2 days. And then he could buy it with settled cash.
Wow. And then yours has been held up for like weeks.
Like
now.
3 weeks ago. Yeah. And mine's just still held. It like unsettled. Like it's wild. And then yeah, so it finally was unsettled on Monday where I could put a limit order, and then the price went up 30%.
Right.
So I'm just gonna wait because like
I was already excited when it was up like 5%.
They wouldn't let me buy the low. Like they know probably based on my account history. And then they'll like you can't call them and ask about that because they just like sit on the phone silent. Like they just don't talk. So like
yeah.
You can't even ask them any questions. There's no customer support. No and like
I'm ready for like this customer service revolution. If companies like GameStop and AMC, especially GameStop, who are like trying so hard to push like customer satisfaction, even if they're getting into the airline, I don't know, like
the problem
outpace each other in quality.
They just bend over for it. Like everyone still uses Robinhood and until like so they're just gonna keep being
that's what I wanted to bring up is this video where he's like literally calling out Robinhood and calling up Vlad to stand with the people and like make up for being shady in the past. Have you seen this video?
Hello, Vlad.
Have you seen this?
I don't know if I've seen that video.
You would know. Okay, tell me if you can hear the audio. I want to share it.
You're almost valid, but you're missing an eye. You can't see the damage. You sold the people a promise, a fair market, a seat at the table.
I see him.
NSCC, Melvin Capital, Citadel Securities, and .72.
Dude. Thanks for the tip on calling out the bluff.
But when the powerful began to lose, you changed the rules. You restricted buying, and you called it necessary. The people called it betrayal. Now you stand where they stood, powerless, concerned. Around you is the fortune built from trust. Above you is the exit built from truth. And between them is the weight of every choice you made. When other people's futures were just numbers on a screen, the clock is running. Money talks. But is it worth selling your soul? You can hold on to the illusion that this was fairness. In the end, the market is not judging you. The people are. The choice is yours.
Yeah, after I saw that video is when I doubled down.
Yeah, I've just been doubling down. So I'm looking at it like.
Oh, look at him! It says double down. What? I'm so swayed by the people I respect.
Okay, so there's a lot going on that's like. Even Adam Aaron came out and he was like, hey, our company is facing our stock price issues because of broader issues. Yeah, let's see. It's gonna be
right. That was like a few weeks ago. And then everyone was like,
he basically took accountability for the company. But then it was like, look, there's broader issues affecting this company. And so if you look, like not only did the United States has already kind of conquered lately, like Venezuela, we're hitting Greenland now, right. And like we're eyeing like Cuba, Honduras, like that. There's a lot going on, and so in Greenland, there's a lot of billionaires with conflict of interest up there about like there's different business laws in Greenland, so they can kind of just build a Holocaust center and then they don't have to report it and no one's going to ask about it because no one will know it's there because it's not mandated like the same. There's no business standards. So there's going to be a lot that This is where I was saying that they're going to build Camp America and just deport everyone there for their own good, and it's going to be a Holocaust. And I'm just the worst person on the earth for suggesting something so horrible, but it's like they're calling them freedom camps now, not Camp America. So I was wrong there. They're calling them freedom camps. But so in 1929, the stock market collapsed, and 12 years passed, and then it was 1941, and we had World War II, which lasted until 1945. So that was a 16-year period, with the last 4 years ending in the war. So fast forward to today. In 2008, the housing market collapsed. And then 12 years later, we got COVID-19 in 2020. And now it's been 5 years since COVID-19. So if we've been in the middle of World War III for 5 years already, we're probably almost at the end of the war cycle. While we're sitting here like bombing Iran all last week. So things are going to escalate until they end. And it's going to probably be like a quicker than drawn out type of thing, because it's all coordinated government policy, which has now been leveraged by them trying to chase the market. So now every war demand that hits the table or bailout project or is just covering some of the mechanism to prevent the market crash. So that's it. It's like the last stand that we have in the Middle East. And now it's a battle of like superpowers, because you got like the United States and Russia and China all kind of like fighting for the Middle East. And so Russia is actually in jeopardy, because if the Middle East collapses, it's going to affect like their whole resource chain, like way harder than like America's resource chain. So if the Middle East collapses, it's going to pretty much force the United States to maintain the global superpower. Like it's going to stifle the East side hard enough that the United States is just going to be able to maintain dominance. And then that's going to be good for like US dollar reasons. But then now we're looking at Trump's decisions. So if he is really going to actually pay off the United States debt and redefine the new economy in that way, or if he's going to just double printing and then let the new economy breathe in a way more over saturated state until it bottlenecks again in the future. And like that seems like the worst of the answer to me. But both paths aren't exactly going to be smooth. So there's going to be a lot changing anyway, but hopefully for the better, because like if we can pay out the United States debt using mechanisms like S&P 500 correction and like Bitcoin liquidation and put some criminals away, then we can restore the middle class. And what that means is a better country. Like it doesn't make sense if all the wealth gets concentrated upward, and say that the money is like distributed per labor effort. If billionaires have 50% of all money and then everyone else has the other half,
Right.
billionaires should be contributing half of all the work that gets done. And then that's just not how it is. So then you create like massive discrepancies over. And so, yeah, we have like a massive labor bubble right now. And then we have the minimum wage, which has been stagnant while everything else inflated. So then it's hurting a specific group. It's horrible for taxpayers, great for bankers. And then it just now the model got too streamlined. So now it just can't be great enough for bankers, because they need to take money that doesn't exist. And so now the mass layoff thing fold into the bank's desperation here while there are no jobs. And we need to restore not only jobs, but like a productive, positive humanity So like there needs to be opportunities for everyone. And while the government can create specific opportunities, it's about the narratives and our goals. Like, okay, so we're going to the moon this week, right? And
we're there.
right, actually like today or there or whatever. And then
Maybe, but yeah.
all the stock forums are going nuts. Like, oh, of course we're going to the moon on GameStop's merger speculation week. And like, while AMC's bumping, it's like, of course there's meme stock happenings while this is going on. And then, so we already know the whole market's pretty much rigged to Trump's tweets now, as like the algorithm is a desperate algorithm. They can't really logically tether things anymore because a lot of that if something was tethered to it, it would collapse things because they're going to not have like their functions existing together. It's like the hot potato between NVIDIA and OpenAI and all those private companies that they're just passing around, and then they'll pay interest on their loans as that hot potato gets smaller and smaller. And then eventually it's going to disappear and they'll need a new government bailout. And then the government's going to be ready to bail that out. So then the mechanism for those companies collapsing doesn't become related to their revenue or potential to be bailed out, but then their partnerships and then like social associations. Like Robinhood took a hit in 2021, but now it's inflated. But if they step on everybody again, it's going to be different than the first time because the people that they're stepping on have like ignored the signs. So they're going to be stepping on a different group of people this time, first of all. And then second, it's like since it's a whole new group, it's like they already pissed off a whole different group, which has left their platform. So then they're going to run out of groups to step on too. It's like the let's lay off 30,000 employees argument. And it's just bad business and non-sustainable. And now we're 5 years deep in it. And then, World War III is going to climax in the face of like, so I would say the government is positioned now for banks to take this hit. Remember 2021, it was banks and governments versus humanity. But now, like Donald Trump, he represents the government, and he's pretty much ready to like let banks like take the hit for this because it is easier to let it blow up and then pick up the pieces than to like. I just they won't be able to keep GameStop down for like. Say he wants to win another term or whatever, and that's still up for speculation right now if he can even run again or whatever. But it's not going to last his term length suppressed. Like we have warrants for $32 immediately almost now. It's like
and someone today bought $100 million worth of GameStop, and just this morning, Keith Gill's brother asked how many shares did he buy. But I don't think he has $100 million. But maybe Kevin Gill does have a lot of money if he's as smart as his brother, but people are like buying. Oh yeah, that's another question I had for you, but definitely people are buying in. But I have another question for you.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we can talk about volume, but yes, what you got?
My question actually, it's like from the very beginning of our talk is you said that you've been buying nonstop and you want to keep buying till you get hundreds of thousands of shares. I literally just doubled my position at $1. How many people do you think are still buying like daily? Do you think it's a small few, or do you feel like there's still like there's something like millions of AMC investors, right? And do you think a lot of these investors are still buying, especially now that it's cheaper than ever? Or do you think a lot of people I don't really know how you interpret this question because I know exactly what I'm asking. I just from what you've seen, do you think people are still like rapidly buying every paycheck and stuff like that?
So I've been watching volume. There's high volume, and we got dilution going into that. And then there's like hard things happening with apes everywhere. So like while some people are buying, some people are probably also selling. But I think it's way heavier on the buy side because if you bought 50 shares in 2021, right, and you're holding them all the way till now, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to sell. Well, I've been buying way more than 50 shares over and over and over and over again. So like, I think like the demand volume is just going to be higher than that sell volume, because that 50 shares that other guy sold, I already bought them.
Right.
And then probably more than that and more than that and more than that. And then that's how accumulation works. My position is just getting bigger and bigger. So now they're not just selling more than I have, because they don't have all of it. So I'm just buying what's left, the smaller positions. The big ones eat the smaller ones, and 1,000 shares in this company right now, it sounds like a big position because it's a lot of shares, and it is, but it's really only $1,000 right now, so it's not that big of a position. So like, some people understand that and are taking advantage of it. Some apes are able to get in right now bigger than my whole position, and I've probably known about this way longer, and good for them. That's what it's about. And because I'm not trying to just get money and be like nobody else. It's like, no, if this is like really like the Noah's Ark metaphor of like all this shit going down,
Right.
it's for everybody. So like, get on the boat before it floods, and we're
Totally.
gonna get that until it starts raining. So it's like, that's the GameStop rocket analogy about it. But so
There was something I saw that he posted about, like, I wanted to just see if I can. Oh my god, he's been so active on Twitter lately. But he said something about like, you don't beat the Gills. Like, if anyone's against us, we will beat you. I don't know. It seems like he's really kind of like saying like, I'm working with my brother. Yeah, we are one. Like he just knows if his brother says anything, it's gonna be like monumental and even looked into.
right.
But yeah. Anyway, there was something he said, and I'm
But
like,
he's
what is
just,
this angel
he's
puppy?
the meme little brother. Like, but it's like how the media kind of like
I'm like, what's this barking? What?
wants to discredit.
Just 1 second ago. Oh, here it is. I don't know what is going on. There's so much. I didn't even realize. I only saw he used to only be following Elon Musk. Now he's following this. So anyway, there's so much going on that. Oh, a lot of people are thinking too that Buddy is actually Kevin is DFE. And then he even confirmed it, maybe speculatively. So yeah, there's a lot going on. It's so fascinating. That's what I'm saying. There's so much to keep up with and so much to speculate on, and it's just gonna be like so fascinating once there's all everything, the cat's out of the bag, so to speak. Oh, what do you think about them deleting the cat system? Doesn't that like that's like all of the proof of all this stuff, especially MMTLP and things like that, where
And it's sad.
Why? How is this happening?
No, it's literal like.
But also it's brand new, right? The cats. I just remember like, I don't know, AMC Big Ups back in the day or someone like talking about like the cat system and how it was going to be epic, and then
It's like
I
new
listened for a
auditing.
long time.
It's like a specific categorization of auditing that cat system
Right,
represents.
it was like kind of tokenization, right? But now they're getting rid of it. It was like trails and receipts and stuff. So I'm just surprised that's happening.
There's a lot going on. We got Jerome Powell about to step down, and then we got the SEC kind of already just got gutted like this. And then so Elon Musk has been running the Dodge government efficiency department. And while there's also a gold Fort Knox audit that's been going on, and then we got like Elon Musk kind of stepping in to maybe buy OnlyFans, and so it's like he's
I didn't
expanding.
know that.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna make a move on the prostitution network now, but he said he's gonna buy it to shut it down. But that probably just means like transform the business into something he can use, because it's like $20 billion a year right now in revenue, and it's the largest donor to political candidates through super PACs by far. And so it's an asset in that regard. I don't necessarily think he wants to be the porn king, but it ties into the like buy out everything, and then like Bill Gates is kind of doing similar things, but like with land. Like he's going to do land deals. He's gonna have like more land than the Louisiana Purchase here. They're gonna have the Bill Gates Purchase or something going on.
Oh my gosh.
Through whatever charities and Greenland, and so whatever senators he already paid to get this stuff going. But so when you have all the money at the top, this is what happens. These are the byproducts. And so restoring a middle class would like dilute the ability for a lot of this like big bad monopolization tethering that we're seeing. But juggling all of these things, it just like, I think we're at the end because like the too big to fail companies now, it's like they're too big to grow also. And so
Yeah.
when people talk about, oh, Nvidia is going to double again next year, now we're talking about doubling $5 trillion that is like already inflated, rather than AMC doubling while it's worth nothing, when it can just double like so easy. And like, and that's why gravity's going to come back here, and probably more than gravity, because like they compacted the magnitudes so bad against GameStop. It's a literal black hole like in the market in its current state. So we need to move the market into a new state where it's not a black hole anymore. And the only way they do that is to like cut the rope on the obligations that are getting sucked into the black hole. And that's the bad shorts. So the government has been like putting policy on the table, and now they're gutting these institutions. So the SEC is going to have a new direction, a new leadership, and so is the Fed. And this is right when we're hitting like $40 trillion, and they already tethered Bitcoin. And so the rug pull is ready. If you already made money in Bitcoin, you did it in the last 15 years, and now it's at the top, and they're trying to dump their bags on idiots before they rug pull this thing. And it's now connected to like the housing bubble and like bad loans and derivatives contracts that are getting rolled that aren't good against things like silver and meme stocks. And we're talking about some of this legacy debt now that's owed to nobody. It's owed to the earth. And for it to be maintained by banks and utilized as part of their side of leverage against the middle class is why the middle class disappeared, because they're able to like claim assets that they don't own and create ownership that doesn't actually exist, to out leverage you of true ownership and like what would be legal if people had a backbone about it. And so we're at the end of late stage capitalism when the government turns on the banks. And so
has this happened before in history? I'm like, how do we know what comes next?
Yes, it has happened before, and it's like almost no different. All that's different is like the internet is here, and then we have like the bubbles are more like corporate specific. Like the AI bubble couldn't have existed 80 years ago because no one even knew what a computer was yet. But then that's why there was a bubble for the main thing in their economy at the time. It was probably like a vehicle crunch. Like in 1929 when the stock market crashed, that was like the new technology then. It was companies up and coming like Ford and General Motors, and like you got to look at the time. And that, so like even farther back, like Tulip Mania and
so you're
or whatever, tulip seeds squeezed because it was the same banking cycle collapsing and restarting. And it does it every 80 years. That's what I was just saying. 1929 to World War II was 12 years. Well, 2008 to COVID was 12 years also. And that's where the pattern resets. And then so while World War II only lasted 4 years and we're 5 years into whatever this is, it could end in 1 week when somebody drops a nuke somewhere. So like, I think we're close to the end of this thing, especially if we're already like, it's not like, oh, we might do something about Iran. It's like, no, we're already definitely bombing the shit out of them. And we already like did Gaza all last year. And like that we had like, if there was an attempt at political reform, we had Black Lives Matter going on, like burning down all our own cities in the United States, like pretty much through like most of Biden's term. And then that led through like majority of COVID, and it set like a precedent of psychology. So like shut everyone down. How many of them do it? Enough of them did it. They're definitely opening up a Holocaust in Greenland because we're not going to go stop it. We're all just going to keep getting vaccinated here and wearing masks. And that's getting less and less as like shit comes out, but they're preventing shit from coming out. It's like if we killed 12 million Jewish people, or 6 million Jews, but 12 million people in World War II, and it took 4 years. And that's just like what's recorded. But then if the vaccines already killed like 20 million people, for example, and then health companies don't even have to take accountability yet, and we're just going to look in 20 years, how much more damage is about to get done in 20 years? Like this version is way more off the chain than I would say World War II ever was. And it's not like, it's not, that's why the Hitler argument, like I'm not praising Hitler or anything, but there's no way all of World War II was just that guy's fault. It's like there's no way. It was like the whole banking administration and like pinned on one guy who just commit suicide. But probably like they would just do the same thing to Joe Biden or Trump today. Like they would just like have Trump hang himself, and then the media really going to be able to drive home like, oh yeah, he really was this bad. Let's release a bunch more shit we didn't release yet. And he's already dead though, so he can't defend himself. And then that's what goes in the history books because the media had the most money. So like, and not that I think that's what's at play here, but it's like that's the, if you ever watch like any movie ever, it's always like the bad guy's willing to do anything. So like there'll just be a plot twist because he's gonna just murder somebody right in the middle of main character stuff. But the good people never like resort to that kind of shit. So it's always sad because like the bad guys will do some bad stuff, and then that's the nature of like being bad. They're gonna definitely like, this is why they'll like burn the system down with them instead of like let it be good for 99% of everyone else because they're the bad guys. And so I think we need to see like a large wave of arrests for like, I sent you a clip of like some guys going to like Nancy Pelosi's office and giving her like the stock trader of all of Earth's time award because like she's just the best trader ever. You know what I mean? And then like they got kicked out of her office for like recording and shit, but they're like, you can't record in here. And they're like, well, you can't insider trade. So here we are. Like it's hilarious. And it's just, and then that's it. That's the accountability. They got embarrassed. And then they get to have your $300 million in tax money and give you the middle finger.
Right.
And then Nancy Pelosi specifically is like involved in some scandals that I think are still unfolding because like, I don't know, you saw the one where someone broke into her house and beat her husband up with a hammer. But
yeah, some guy, there's some like, was it his lover? I don't know. That's what I was
was probably like some fear assassination stuff. But so I sent you this other one where
I saw something where
guy ranting about like these associated variables because one Epstein page came out and it links like Victoria's Secret and Ken Griffin.
Oh yeah.
And then that goes all the way to BlackRock. So then it's like, why is that even a page in the Epstein documents? Because like, so just the whole Epstein documents, it's like, I was saying it in one of our other videos, it's like 2% pedophile stuff, but like 98% massive scale money laundering.
Wow.
Like treason stuff. So, and then there's just still no accountability. Like, and while if Donald Trump is any kind of outlier between right and left and would push the system reset, and I don't think he can reset the economy without the mass arrests part, because like if he's talking about I'm going to drain the swamp, what does that mean? Like, because, and we're not talking about like, oh, some people did some like unfortunate things. It's like, no, these people are like actively committing treason over and over to maintain bad things. So like we need accountability there, or the country doesn't stand for anything. And then that's like the long-term thing. If this country doesn't stand for anything, then it's going to be hard to maintain itself as a superpower.
Yeah. Wait. I have two things to ask you in one really quick. I want to talk about this Adam Aaron Q&A tomorrow, which is probably going to have a lot of amazing video clips come out of it. But also, did you see that now banks are allowed to buy Bitcoin? So do you think that's like, here, kitty, and that's gonna be like one last thing?
People are running on banks now, and banks need an excuse to collapse. Yeah, they're going to want a bunch of Bitcoin on their balance sheet when the rug gets pulled.
Right. It's almost like a perfect setup.
The government has set up
stupidity,
Bitcoin.
or like
now banks can adopt it and
stupidity.
collapse. Yeah, and they're going to use it as the excuse and the cover. And
yeah, so that's how they're going to pay off the debt. Is that what you've said? Because that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Banks are going to whatever BS their way into Bitcoin,
like
and then it's going to collapse.
If we go bomb Iran,
the debt?
If we go bomb Iran, and then the United States goes and makes a claim, and we're going to take over Iran, and in exchange for it, we're going to give you 10 million Bitcoin. And then they take Iran, and then Bitcoin collapses the next fucking day. So it's going to be like, as the war collateral gets distributed to bag holders, forced bag holders, it's going to be like,
I don't know. I hope it works out different than that. But
it's going to be banks in other countries holding this Bitcoin when it collapses. And then those countries are going to collapse, denominated on the Bitcoin holdings as the value of the rug pull, tethered to $40 trillion in United States debt that's got to get unwound back up.
What the heck? This is all so stupid. It's like making us these like ultimate bad guy. You know what I mean? It's like bringing down everyone with us.
And it's going to be more than Bitcoin. It's going to be every other altcoin and like a lot of these fake companies and all the inflated companies. So while some inflated companies will go down in price but maybe survive, the fake companies are going to pretty much pop and disappear.
Yeah.
And once the United States debt starts going down, if we can get that head in the right direction, interest payments get less. And now our tax dollars mean more because they're not getting absorbed by endless interest. They are meaningfully moving the country forward again. And then this is all something that could be fixed very quickly. Like we could get the debt to zero in probably like 6 months to a year.
Wow.
If they start correcting, like unwinding leverages. And a lot of that is the legacy debt. So a lot of this debt needs to get written off. And that's where they're going to do it in the Bitcoin shadows. Because it's not debt that's owed to anybody. It's just debt that banks use to leverage, but it's like definitely uncollectible. And debt isn't an asset now. It's been an asset until 2021 because you could print money based on debt, and then only if you're a government though. So then, or bank. So then now that's so far gone that as the rules are changing based on things like meme stocks appearing, they don't want debt now because it's not about a stay being an asset. They're not about a print based on how much debt they can hold, because if that was the case, AMC could just become a bank and print a shit ton of money for itself because it has debt, an asset. And if debt's an asset, why the heck is our price so low? So they can't keep debt as an asset anymore. And so now they got to get rid of their debt. So they're trying to trade it for currencies that are not Bitcoin. So either the smaller banks are collapsing, getting eaten up by bigger banks. Bigger banks are getting approved for government bailouts in US dollar printing as they prepare the other instruments to loot that money back through. They want to loot as much US dollar back through Bitcoin as they can that they're printing now to put towards the debt once they do pull the plug on Bitcoin. And then that's them flipping a switch on the algorithm. So it's like that easy, and they're almost ready, but they had to get like sanctions in order, put people in positions to make sure that these functions are executed throughout the chain. But it's like a lot, like people would call it like Trump installing his buddies. And then there's some of that too. And like every president's ever done that. But then if he has a plan, he does need his buddies there to make sure the plan gets executed.
Right.
Looking at a long-term unwinding. So if the swamp is getting drained, it's going to look like this. And then so while people would argue if Trump's an outlier or he's the biggest bad guy ever and he's going to dupe all of us into the worst situation ever in a couple more years, it's still yet to be seen. But then if the economy is unwinding and it takes the long-term plan to kick in over a certain amount of time, it would look like this right now before the weight finally hits the table about some of these policies, and when banks finally, these leverages start collapsing, and then the ball gets moving on the long-term plan. But it's going to be a slow start because banks are still trying to survive as they like desperately exhaust their last leverages, and we don't know exactly like the order or the mechanisms behind it. It's like insider information type stuff, but then they are getting exhausted. So that narrows the time frame down, and we don't do dates, but there are like windows of, so like 1 year from now, we're going to have already moved through certain resistances on the graph. You know what I mean? Which I already defined them by like apes buying the bottom, and then the company's ability to pay off debt at a lower price over time as like the shares get more volatile. And so like in a year, it's not going to be the same company dynamics, and probably our revenues are going to be even more better, and we're going to be able to already pay off some debt as AMC. So when the company looks better in a year, they'll either have to create a new market event to push the price down more, or like it's going to break up in the channel, and then it's already $1. So like, I don't think AMC can go into the bankruptcy zone because it's
exactly. I don't think it can. I don't think so. I don't think they can hold it down much longer, which is part of why I doubled down.
Debt covenants through 2030, 2032, 2035. They are restoring revenues. They're still doing new marketing and business and building things like their popcorn and their credibility and like their distribution through the like Taylor Swift and independent artists. So this company is going to survive. Like they're just ready to do business for 5 more years at least, and does not slow down. And the bear thesis is dead in my opinion, but they're going to just claim debt as the weapon about it. But then at the same time, they're claiming their debt is an asset. And then while like companies like AutoZone have more debt and a similar revenue structure as AMC, and it's just worth hundreds of times more. And it just, once this correction happens, it's going to be super violent. That's why we're talking about it. Companies retest their all-time highs when things like this happen. And then this is happening at the largest magnitude ever. So probably AMC will retest its all-time high at some point. So it just
would be crazy. Would be crazy.
I'll be a millionaire by that point because I have enough shares at $1 right now.
I'd assume you'd be even more than a millionaire if it's 700 X's at 1,000 shares. So I mean, I don't know. I can't do that math really quick. But also, what do you think about the fact that Adam Aaron is speaking at University of South Carolina so randomly? Like this was announced a few days ago.
Right. They have to kind of operate on the down low like that. So he doesn't need
I just found this guy on LinkedIn and tried to connect with him, by the way. We'll see if he adds me.
He doesn't need to pay for marketing on anything like this because it's like the apes are watching these kinds of things. So
yeah.
And not that
I know I want to like fly to South Carolina, but I mean, you know, my money's so tight lately. It's all in investments.
Yeah, I'll watch this for sure. We'll see what he says. But it'll probably
are they live streaming?
I think it's going to be cryptic, and
they're not live streaming, are they? Oh, your response has been recorded. I thought it was saying this thing is being recorded. Yeah, is it online? Or you show up in the classroom? You got to freaking show up in the classroom. They're not going to have enough space.
Right.
This is going to be nuts. I wonder what he's going to talk about. I love it. I love that he's going to some random college campus.
Anyway, I'm super pro Adam Aaron because that's what I was saying on the Delta Hedge thing. He needs this company to look as close to bankruptcy as possible if he's got a trap waiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's freaking that's chestnut checkers right there.
And if you notice when AMC went up 30% the last couple days, GameStop didn't. And it's because of,
by the way,
they're basket buddies. So they'll move together, they'll not move together based on whatever leverage is. But I'm telling you, they're shredding the baskets that they're both in.
Right.
They're both in a basket because it's like the price pulling the basket apart. If AMC's too far one way and GameStop too far the other way, their spread is a risk. And
it's a Kansas City shuffle.
so AMC popping back closer to GameStop's price by GameStop like going down and AMC moving up, it relieves stress on the basket.
Oh.
So now I'm looking at basket leverage this week because like what else is going to move if the pressure inside the basket is changing. If there's a little less pressure in the basket than there was on Friday today, then they're trying to execute some kind of move, or it's unwinding leverages that we're considering here. So if GameStop's held down and they're awaiting an announcement, probably it's about to move.
Look at this crazy chart with how much GameStop is like changing their business model, epically succeeding. Like this chart makes no sense. I mean, all these charts don't make any sense, but this is so crazy. Like, how is it just freaking the same price forever? And like you said, it's like until it becomes undeniable. Oh my gosh, it's just like the funniest chart to look at. If you have like, I don't know, you know, there's so many people like, oh, GameStop is not a good investment. But look at the fundamentals. This makes no sense. It's clearly manipulation. I mean, and same with AMC, but at least the AMC is moving. You know what I mean? GameStop isn't. I mean, you know, you could go, well, it's moving down. It's moving. Move on.
I would say the same thing is happening. AMC is just more extreme. If you see GameStop that held, if the channel's lines are at $39 and $19,
yeah,
it's moving around in the middle of that channel. Like it's looked like 23, but look at AMC and it's like in the same time frame, it's a lot more down.
Right. It's just been going down.
The top of its channel and the bottom of its channel. But GameStop is like bouncing between the lines.
Yes.
And AMC just like did a flat out. But if both of them are like on the same algorithm, they're both going to go back and like touch the top again. And that's why I always say AMC right now has more room for growth.
Totally.
Because even though being a large company, it's like the way the leverages were used. And then that's why when the unwinding happens, it's going to hit AMC really hard because
they never expected this. I mean, look at this. They never expected, like, first of all, never expected that.
If you look at when the leverages unwind, so both companies hit a $40 billion market cap.
Right.
So that showed that whatever mechanism maxed out was the same lid. But then GameStop was a smaller company by about 6 times smaller than AMC during the time. And then its all-time high price went about 6 times higher than AMC during its movement.
I'm looking at this right now, and like AMC's high was May 31st, but GME's high was December 31st.
No, it wasn't December 31st. You zoomed out too far back, and it's like only giving you the monthly date there. It was in February and January 2021.
Yeah. You're right.
And then like February
charts aren't even
February
true.
5th, because like it went all the way back down, and then Roaring Kitty went to court and it went all the way back up. So it kind of like double touched the top.
That was so fun to watch that in real life. When I was watching that live, like it was insane to watch him. When he said, I like the stock, like, and then it just started climbing. It was insane. I mean, yeah, that was so cool.
So AMC had like in 2021 too, but GameStop had already happened for 4 months. And then so while more swap obligations were rolling over and short rolling, and that so in May, when AMC exploded, like GameStop did too. There's like the graph spikes up again. It's just it was already controlled. So they gained control of GameStop with whatever like 40 billion leverage mechanisms they had to do. Which AMC exploded on that day too. It went from like $2 to $22. And then AMC kind of just exploded again later. Yeah, Dogecoin too.
I bought Dogecoin literally under a penny. And then like the next day it went up to 12. And then later on, like I like 70x my money on
So Dogecoin, actually hold that graph real quick. That's a really good. You can see that. Go to the other first bump. That bump, the little.
Yeah. When it went from one like under a penny to 12 cents, I remember it
that
exactly.
was when GameStop went.
Yep. Same day.
And then go to the next bump, the big one. That is when AMC went, right there. So it's like they had to pump Dogecoin for both, and it's because of the.
And then I sold my Dogecoin and put it into AMC.
This is why I know that they're going to rug pull Bitcoin. Like, if you think about it, Bitcoin at 100K, right? What good does that do anybody?
I don't know. Tell me the answer.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't do anybody any good. It's digital nothing.
Yeah.
Bitcoin doesn't do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
It's not worth 100K for one. That is a money dark hole. It like the people that have it want to sell it. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those. And it's like the largest one that's now sanctioned. So Dogecoin's no different. And frankly, neither is like XRP and so now blockchain technology is not theoretical. It's like
a technology. It's not a value, right?
Well,
they're turning it into a currency.
It's like the hype, which is receiving the value. You know what I mean? If blockchain actually exists, great. But then the hype is why you buy Bitcoin. And then so that now we got
the hype could be why you buy actually companies too. So you're right that it doesn't.
And that is problematic with the dilution. And we need to redefine what propaganda is and market manipulation, because they're out here crying like, oh, retail investors can't go online and give a bad review because that's market manipulation. But we can pay for a commercial that calls them all gay and idiots.
And we can freaking Mad Money and the stock box and every single newspaper outlet and and that's come on man.
And then they're like, that's not market manipulation, by the way. Oh, by the way, here's your fines for crimes fees, SEC. Thank you. Like, back to your regularly tuned programming where we screw you again. Where were we? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, we could gripe about it all day. But so I wanted to talk about one thing that I sent you.
Yeah, sure. Which one?
The Fibonacci sequence.
Okay, let me see. Oh, you sent me that a while ago.
Yeah, I sent it to you a couple times.
So like, looks like shells, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks like a little seashell or like a spiral math thing, like with some cubes in it.
Okay. Sharing now.
Yes. Okay. So this is what, when you go to your calculator and you put like y equals x and it makes a line, and you put like y equals x squared and it turns into the parabola. And then, okay, so this is what the algorithm that is like running humanity looks like. And it's why the compounding problems keep getting perpetually bigger and bigger, because this is like compounded risk tethering model. Like you can see like how the nature of the squares get bigger and like how it originates from a starting point. And it can just get infinitely bigger. Like
this is like quote unquote unwinding. When people talk about unwinding, it's like,
yes, this is what the unwinding market is going to look like. It's going to retrace this back to the center. Like if it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, all of a sudden it's just going to get small, like go back to the center. And if it goes all the way back to the very center, that's the complete reset. But if it goes back and goes close, that's probably more realistically what would happen, because like I don't think JP Morgan Chase will just get wiped off the earth and be gone. But if they have 5,000 locations, for example, that it might wipe down to like less than 1,000 and then get taken over by a new company and then repurposed. Like, you know what I mean? Like the assets left. Like it'll be like if Toys R Us was, what was the zombie stock? JP Morgan Chase becomes the new zombie stock. Well, like during asset reallocation, like if the DOJ just like walked through JP Morgan Chase one day and was like, all right, the jig is up, get out, you're all getting busted, and they're like handcuffing people and throwing papers around and like burning the building down pretty much. But so this is like, you can apply this sequence to like not only society and like through every Trump tweet kind of like pull society along this line, and like, but also the market, and then like, so too big to fail are on this line, and then like you got the music industry riding this line because like this is the Ticketmaster anomaly. Like Ticketmaster have to take more and more money or it can't sustain its own business model. Like, you know what I mean? And then like it's so big that like any minimum retracement, which would be like this line goes back just a little bit, not even all the way back to the center, and it's like Ticketmaster paying $300 million for fines, but then that's only like 3 days of his revenue. So like it didn't even matter, but it's like so much money that so it's why like it seems like we can never win, because like what, Ticketmaster just back at it again. They already made their $300 million fine back, and all they're gonna do is make Taylor Swift tickets even more expensive now, just so they can like make their money back even harder.
Oh,
so
dang.
Man, and Taylor Swift coming out every day like bashing these guys like the Carlyle Group and the Boston Consulting Group, and like how they're connected to Berkshire Hathaway and BlackRock, and then it's like a direct tie into them declaring her property in court. So she just get the middle finger by every judge, because they're like, you don't get to have rights, you're an object. Well, it says her word is just worth nothing because she's an object, not the person Taylor Swift, but the object.
Right.
Like she got Michael Jackson, but like didn't die yet. Like, I don't know. It's like, but they got her. Like, and so Michael Jackson was a different kind of outlier. Like, but you see those like all over. Marilyn Monroe, Robin Williams. They're like, I would never commit suicide, and then they just go commit suicide. And it's like only celebrities who are making a difference do that, coincidentally or whatever. Right. Like the dude from Friends. What was his name? He played Chandler Bing. Matthew Perry, right. I guess he drowned in his own hot tub. Wild stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of these Department of Justice investigations, we're talking about Fort Knox, gold audit, and like how all those things kind of like run into like the billionaire circle, and then like current government policy. And then so like the Epstein documents kind of come out and like social proof a lot of these concepts that I'm stringing together.
Right. A lot of conspiracy theory, like everything, like they're really kind of.
Well, and it's like this is when indictments and margin calls start hitting the table. And I would say like an arrest warrant for somebody is no different than a margin call today, because if politics is directly tethered
to. So when do you think all this? Okay, by the way, I just wanted to share this, which last year's catching up to this year, but still, I mean, good for the freaking income. But
oh no, we're doing big numbers this year. And then that just helps improve the bottom line, because if it's like AMC,
we don't need to keep diluting.
AMC's revenue right now, if say we're making $5 billion in revenue restored since COVID, and then say this year it's better and we make $7 billion, so that's $2 billion more than last year, and because we just did a $2 billion quarter, which is pretty good, so we can maybe even break $7 billion. But so if AMC really breaks far above that $5 billion, they'll keep more of that overhead money, because their obligations are covered by $5 billion, and that other money's extra, so they'll receive more of it. And if we're working with a $500 million cash bleed into our debt obligations, and we're having restored revenues, these restored revenues become the very same function that today's GameStop is investing and then receiving interest. You know how GameStop just made like $100 million in interest? Well, it's like that's the same overhead that AMC can take advantage of through its revenues.
Right.
will maintain a bottom line of survival, because people just argue, no, it's not a survival game. AMC had to be better or it's done. No, it is a survival game based on the nature of a short bet against the company during with the debt asset confusion. So they're going to try and run PSYOP, multi-level, one goes up, one goes down narrative through the right and the left side of that thing to always make sure that debt is their asset, but your burden. But you can't claim debt's a burden and an asset at the same time. And while they are always doing that simultaneously. So then now it's like whoever does hold the debt when the music stops doesn't get a chair at the table. They're just not going to get a chair at this table because it's like the debt. It's too heavy. You can't get a chair with the debt. And that's why it's a musical chairs reference, because if there is a hot potato of shit going around, the bank holding it at the end is going to lose. And right now, UBS is holding it. And that is directly tethered into Deutsche Bank, which goes even more along my line of that bank's probably going to load up on Bitcoin and get liquidated. Goodbye, Bank of Switzerland. Like soon, Switzerland going to go off the map because they're going to buy a bunch of Bitcoin and get liquidated into the United States debt. Thanks for paying off our debt in the near future. So through GameStop's mechanism, like government's going to tether GameStop and probably into the S&P 500 and like too big to fail. So as stuff starts getting liquidated into GameStop, and then there's a narrative for why GameStop is going to be big, all that money is going through like tax channels and is going to backwash a lot of this legacy debt. And yes, so you're looking up Boston UBS Group, Credit Suisse. So notice a lot of these banks are like from other countries, and these are like the countries that I'm talking about that are going to get liquidated in this Bitcoin rug pull, because the US dollar it's like the United States currency, you know. Also, it's the global currency. So like that's why the United States is going to maintain the superpower in this thing. Like potentially through Israel, they're calling Israel United States little brother or whatever during this time, while like war kind of escalates into destroy the Middle East to stifle like Russia and China's ability to take over like the power from the US to really, because I think Trump needs the dollar to continue, whether they're going to print a bunch of more of it or at least through the Bitcoin liquidating. And that, so like whether the dollar gets stronger or weaker after all this won't matter as much, because if it gets weaker, they can put a new currency on the table once unwinding starts to clear. And if they restore the strength of the dollar, it's going to have to come from, the power will come from the unwinding. So it's going to matter a lot about how much of this debt will get discharged and accountability dropped on other countries. So if, for example, Credit Suisse takes a lot of accountability, they're probably going to end up with a lot of Bitcoin, because it's like going to be they're going to be related. The amount of accountability being taken is going to amount to how much Bitcoin they're holding. If they liquidate Bitcoin, and it's going to be like, that's how much. You like, remember when Germany at World War II at the end, they split it up and made it pay reparations and like give territory away and to all these different people it owed until like it made Germany whole. Well, like that's what's going to happen, but with corporations this time and banks. It's not going to be like, oh, we're going to go split up China now. It's going to be like, no, we're going to split up Credit Suisse and BlackRock. And then as those assets get handed off to different groups, it's going to like break the too big to fail model. And that's where the middle class is going to like start seeing windfalls all over. There's all of a sudden going to be logical loans for businesses that should exist. And like probably the education's getting reformed and reinvested in, like sponsored like through better programs, better curriculums, prison reform, probably also the legalization of marijuana, it just, these are all things the government's going to want to capitalize on simultaneously to kind of like expedite a turn in the economy. Yeah, because if we're going to go into a recession, not that we're not already in a receding economy, because yeah, the S&P 500 has already fell from 7,000. I'm telling you, I think Pam Bondi called the top on that one. She's already been removed. She did her job. And just like the SEC now, like everything's like getting gutted at the same time. Jerome Powell's out next month, less than a month now. Like I think like May, I don't remember which day in May was his last day, but they posted it. So like he's about to get out. In May, he's done. So then whether they have an immediate new replacement take over, or this is the time when they're going to be weary of bank runs, and like the Fed is at risk because they either have to raise rates to protect like loans or loan arrangements, or lower rates, but that's going to like push inflation. So and we need lower rates because like no one's trying to pay 7% interest on $1 million inflated house that's 50 years old. So the housing market's not even moving now. And so that it's only going to go down if rates lower, which is going to pop housing collateral. And that's what's going to happen because the houses aren't about to just get younger. They're just going to get older. And that collateral is going to get worse and worse to be holding. So the housing bubble, it's like over in my opinion too. And when I say over, I mean like they can't double it again. It's the same thing as like Nvidia. The bubble's been exhausted so big while AMC's sitting here at $1. So it just, they can double it again, but not without AMC doubling it or what. So it's just, they can't double it again because if it's leveraged against one, then if AMC doubles and they double Nvidia, it doesn't matter if they doubled Nvidia because AMC just doubled and the leverage is still 1-to-1. So like it wouldn't even matter if they doubled Nvidia if AMC also doubles. So they're not going to be able to keep re-leveraging on the top because it's too top heavy. Like money doesn't work like that. And then so that's when the middle class strikes back. And in history, it's like that's when like money will flow to the right groups. And I think it's going to happen this year because like, you know, that chart where it shows like the zigzag up and down and it shows like 2026 and then it goes down to 2039 at the top. And so 2026 is like the pivot year. And we're talking about the government having mechanisms ready for a new economy and to put about it and then it goes down now in 2026 because that's the recession in the economy. If they drop rates and the housing market collapses, the economy is going to lose a lot of value, but it's all inflated fake value anyway. So that's actually fine for most people. It's bad for big banks that are like, we have hundreds of trillions of dollars and we are the king. Like that's what it's bad for. And so when they talk about a recession, that's going to be good for nearly everybody because we need those banks to pop and for that to be the inflation. We don't need grocery prices going to $1 million, but we need banks popping and millions of dollars flowing to people so that inflation can be managed. And then if people are smart and run it into their businesses, it will hold prices down while people get large inflows of money. So it could really create the booming economy, like the actual strongest economy this world's ever seen. Because if you empower the masses, that's when shit gets done, not when everyone's shut up. And then Bill Gates gets to say everything's getting done, while like nothing's getting done. Jobs are zero. Like Jerome Powell came out and said that, and good for him because at least he's on his way out. So he's like, I'm gonna just say it like it is then for my last month, and he's like talking about all the mechanisms, you know? So like it's good because now when his replacement steps in, they're not going to be able to just like undo what he just said. So they're going to have to like get handed off current momentum. And if banks are one rate cut from like everything popping, but they can't make rates go up either, because then like not only they can't write loans like that anymore, because with the interest high, and then we're paying more on United States debt interest than like is collected by tax revenue. You know what I mean? So like the government bailout model doesn't work anymore. And then so we have GameStop just trading sideways, like you looked at earlier. And so that can't just keep going.
Right.
It requires eBay, and then it just stay trading sideways. It can't.
Even AMC saying, you know, these parts. I mean, none of this can stay forever. But
Right.
I feel like this time is different. I really feel like this recent pop is different, and it's like undeniable.
See, I'm hoping not, because I want to buy more shares. So I'm expecting it to go back down. And not that I want it to. I would love for this thing to just take off and quit my day job this week. But I think there's a little time left. I think that it's not going to pop off until May. And it's because when they put the new Fed chair, and they're going to do their next Fed meeting, and then GameStop maybe will have some acquisition news ready, and they're going to probably try and make AMC go touch $1 again. Because if they're going to still maintain the bear thesis, so you can see it keeps like popping up, and they push it down, pop it up. They push it.
Right. But this
And-
time's different, right? That's what I feel like. I always think that though.
No, I want it to be, yeah, that one you just looked at. It's just one of those.
Yeah.
You want it to be what it is.
Like this time looked different and it wasn't. And this time may be different and it isn't. But
No, if it was different, it's going to be that one right there. That one ran up 100%. That one
was that when?
That's when Roaring Kitty came
Right.
back, or whatever.
Dude, and then this must have been when he went on the freaking CNBC or when he was like live streamed on CNBC, and then he showed up late, and then he was being crazy, and then he was talking about the movies.
It's like GameStop had it too. You know, the middle one where GameStop. Yeah, that like that.
And though right around here, that
Yeah,
must
it's
have been.
that.
Look at this drop.
Roaring
Did
Kitty.
they dilute here? Did they? What is this drop here?
June 2025.
This doesn't make any sense. I mean, on like a, even
There was
on the
some-
bullshit level, this doesn't make any sense.
I remember something.
Oh,
and-
maybe
no,
it was
it's-
like an earnings report where they like, I don't know, or they bought Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, it was probably something like that, and it probably wasn't even a bad earnings report. It was
Exactly.
like, that's how the thing moves, because you
Just
see how
excuses,
violently it went up.
excuses.
If it's staying in the middle, it has to like violently go down to like counterbalance the up it just went,
Right.
to maintain a middle, and then
Totally.
that's where the spring winding theory comes from.
This is ridiculous.
In like why AMC had the spring wound tight. And if you could pull up the Yahoo AMC graph.
Well, look
And
at this. When you do, I never saw into this feature, by the way. What's going on? Anyway, Yahoo AMC. Let me pull it up.
The 5-year, because there's this one volume bar on the graph that just like in the middle of nowhere. And you can associate volume today, like AMC's trading like still like 30 million shares every day.
Right here. This must be what you're talking about.
Yes, the price
But
of
nothing
gold
happened.
massive volume.
Wow. And nothing's happening to the stock price, and yet like
Wait, go to
madness
the
and
volume of billions of shares. Like, dude,
makes no sense.
dude, literally. Yeah, they don't. There's not like a day. You know how like GameStop glitched and there's like Mario Day? Dude, I saw this volume bar appear and like nothing happened. But like I was like, this is a whole anomaly on itself. Like
Totally.
that is so much volume for No price movement.
Nothing. That's the biggest volume in freaking even.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, barely any volume,
What?
exploded price, huge volume, nothing. Like, dude, what? No, this thing's
What?
gonna
What day was
explode,
this?
dude. This thing is going to freaking explode. Like, I'm telling you.
May in 24, 2 years ago.
Yeah, May is the anniversary of AMC exploding. Like, you know, it's
Wow.
over shit.
Wild. Wild.
And it's just volume is associated with price movement. And then the fact that it's so suppressed, and then like you can see volume picking up.
Dude, what the heck? It's not like it drastically dropped either. So clearly that volume was buys. This is so weird.
Dude, it's so weird.
It's so weird. It's so weird. All of this volume doesn't make any sense, but especially that.
What's crazy, it's indicative of seller boxing, because this is what happens in all the zombie stocks. You remember that old Blockbuster stock, and it showed like the graphs just with the insane big spikes on it. Like every 1 year, it would just have a huge ass spike.
Right.
And then since they can't have that happen on AMC's price, they have to leverage it into the volume. So now we're having the big explosive anomalies in other statistics. So that's where the short interest percent showed 4,000%, because we can't let the price explode to the magnitude of 4,000%. So we'll just let the short interest statistic blow out at 4,000% while we keep the price at 0, and then we're going to cover for it later with other leverages. And then that's why we see glitches all over in the market, because it's them having some shit blow out of their control, and then they cover for it after that.
Right.
And then their leverages are getting less and less. That's why it's a problem they can't fix, because while it seems like they have infinite amount of time, shit like this keeps popping up. And it shows that they don't, because
right.
This is GameStop.
Where's this one's GameStop. It's where's all this freaking volatility and volume going?
And you can see when there's volume, the stock price follows it. You know what I mean?
A bit. You know,
the same
hardly.
thing. You remember that other graph that I showed you with AMC versus Palantir or Peloton, where the Peloton sold off and then the price collapsed, but AMC didn't sell off and the price still collapsed.
Right.
Yeah, so it's that's happening all those are happening at the same time. AMC having not only volume anomalies but short interest anomalies. It doesn't make sense when compared AB to any other company side by side. It's not having the same rules applied to it. They're claim fundamentals all day, and then AMC just looks like a complete fucking crime scene.
Yes. They both do.
Anyway, look at the volume picking up.
Yeah.
Down
Yeah, look at all these people selling. Oh,
yeah.
No wonder everyone's
That's
selling.
50 million volume in one day. And AMC just issued 100 million shares, and then they're crying, oh, dilution, it's over. Well, dude, those shares got gobbled up in 2 days.
Right.
And dude, Apple is sitting here with 15 billion shares issued. So I don't want to fucking hear it, because AMC could times 30 the amount of shares right now, and it'll still have less shares than Apple. So and that's with it compressed and already 8 unit squashed and diluted thousands of percent at the fucking media claim. Dude, get out of here. AMC was such a small company before, still larger than GameStop. So that's why the size of AMC is perfect for this kind of setup, because not only was it not too big to fail, but it wasn't so small like GameStop. That's why in GameStop, when it started in January, AMC is the one that ran later, because GameStop they covered for, and AMC was a byproduct of not only their shorts, but then them also covering GameStop. And then that was a culmination of shorts and GameStop covered into what moved AMC on their swap leverages later. And so the AMC is a much bigger beast. That it's
crazy.
If you look at GameStop, it's still up some percent from when it moved up. It made gains, retained them. Some of the short pressure was that didn't happen with AMC. But then AMC also like it hit the same market cap because it was put in the same basket as GameStop. And GameStop's the one that had the $40 billion lid, not AMC. But when AMC was already in all those baskets, then they let it run in May. It got caught up in the same things as GameStop. And then the media used that to try and psyop the statistics guys and be like, oh, what you're seeing isn't true because otherwise AMC would have went higher than that. But really,
does this volume show like
technology.
Does this volume show like dark pool stuff? Like, do they have to show volume, but then they don't, or no? It's like
it includes off exchange.
Right. I'm like, no way is all this selling. I'm like, dude, this is buying.
Yeah, but go back to that big volume bar where it was like 1 billion shares.
Yeah.
Even if off exchange was 80% that day, that's still like the whole float traded and then 1 billion shares off exchange. Like, you know what I mean? It just
wild.
There's no way to make it small now that it's so big because it just so
yeah. Let's see. I mean, it's exciting times. It's wild.
I'm hoping they drop AMC back down to $1.10.
And weird. Yeah.
Then I'll buy some more because that would mean AMC retains a 10% gain from its 98-cent pop up to 130 right now. So I think it could like fall back down and then maybe I'll pick up those shares and then it might continue moving up. But I think, you know, the Lego graph, it didn't show like one big movement up like Tesla. It showed like bump, consolidate, bump higher, consolidate, bump higher, consolidate. And that's going to be MOASS or whatever. It's going to probably eventually become like fundamental based.
Like Berkshire Hathaway or something, you know?
Just every GameStop earnings report, it will just go up more. Like every earnings report will just put it up more because it'll actually be like logical at that point until GameStop actually starts having like bad earnings. But then that can't happen while the apes are there until the economy is as it is until like after this event. And then depending on if like apes sell everything and move on or like, but I think GameStop's going to acquire so much money. That can't happen with GameStop because even if most apes move on, it's going to be so big. GameStop just going to be way bigger than it was beforehand, even if everybody leaves.
I don't know. It's like I feel like the world they're building and like the Amazon I don't know. Like we'll see what it turns into because it might turn into the next Amazon.
Right, that part, and then that just follows the psychology of what I was saying with the real world application of it. Like because we say GameStop would be bigger than it was before, squeezed on the graph, and then here it is now a big player in AI. So it's like it's that or whatever they choose to do. Because with the AI bubble collapsing, I don't think that's going to like get rid of AI. It's going to correct equity about AI, but I don't think like AI is still here.
I went to an amazing talk yesterday about like OpenClaw and how they're using like all this data. This guy like spent like 3 weeks building. He spent like 18-hour days for like 8 days straight, and now he's like been able to solve like dairy farms and track all this data. Like they're using like there's so many different applications of like just being able to make like so many things more efficient from farm. Anyway, like AI is not going anywhere, but it's leveling up. I also went to a talk this weekend about quantum security, and they were saying like Q Day is coming in 2029, and all of the passwords that would have taken 6 billion years to unlock now because of quantum, you could hack them in like an hour. And so how everyone needs to update their security by Q Day, and I don't know, all this crazy stuff. I'm trying to learn more about quantum computing too. You know, all this kind of random stuff coming our way.
Yeah, NVIDIA is about to put out their Rubin chip too. Actually, let me check the date on that. It might have been April 4th.
I thought you were going to say April Fool's. Like us going to the moon on April Fool's multiple times now in history. I think both times were on April Fool's Day.
Oh, maybe they pushed it. I read April this year when I read it a while ago.
But and NVIDIA's having a quantum day on April, 1 week from today. They're having quantum day. They're having like a whole live stream, like a 9-hour live stream.
I'm talking about specifically their Rubin chip. It's a new technology, but it's going to be like 10 times faster RAM processing and like everything.
Who knows what the future will be?
The current best one. So it's going to be like a whole derivative level up from any computer we've ever seen, I guess. as far as processing. So this is where AI going to be able to plug in the next level, and you're going to be able to say like AI prompt, make a movie about me, and it's just going to make a 2-hour movie about you, like right there. Like, so.
Right. So, what else did you have on your mind to talk about today? I feel like we've covered everything I was thinking.
Yeah, it's just we pretty much hit the nail on the head with our first sessions. Just it's hard to talk about some of the stuff without recovering some things, but we generally have talked about like the web and scratched the surface of every part. So we could deep dive into any segment. Like I could go into the statistics about price discovery per unwinding leverages. I did that in some of the DDs.
That would be cool.
But
Let's.
a little tedious.
I think we could. Maybe we can pick something for next time to really dive deep into, and I don't know, get into like the hardcore weeds of it. It might be something really fun to spend. Like
if you pull out like specific questions, then I can navigate through that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, let me know what you think would be most interesting for us to cover next time, and we can like get super into it. And then I've also got the whistleblower from MMTLP, who maybe hopefully I would love to have a call with you and him, because I would have no clue what questions to ask, but I bet you'd have like a million questions too. But I'd have like general person questions like, how'd you figure it out? And what was it like calling them? And I feel like you'd have some like really amazing questions also.
Yeah, I'm sure I could think of some. I am well researched on that company though. And while I wasn't involved, I didn't buy any of that company, but I was buying AMC during the time. I just know that I knew about it. And then, but I've went through the MTLP case, and I just have concluded that it's
a straight up crime scene.
Well, yeah, but then it would have been like AMC and GameStop, except it didn't have like already established marketing. Like no one knows what that is.
Right.
That's the only reason they got away with what they did.
Right.
So and it was like a special halt they had to do, and like
actually.
But then since then, like a lot of like halt research has come out, and then so like we talked about GameStop and AMC halts, and then eventually they're not going to be able to halt it. And then that's where we can already see GameStop and AMC did run up in the past. They weren't able to halt it during certain scenarios, and they are only able to do certain halts. So like we could very well see again where they lose control of it and they're not able to halt the stock at certain times. And this is going to be like grander behind the scenes correcting things, because they're able to halt it on like sentiment issues, or like if DFE came out and GameStop spikes, they're gonna be able to halt it. But then if the government though was like, oh no, GameStop ready to rip, and we have the leverage ready with the bank to pull the plug, and then GameStop's gonna rip and it's not gonna get halted. Through whatever leverages they let that play out through. But it's gonna be when the government's ready to let the gun get shot at the bank here. Like it's at the bank's head already, and just when the government pulled the trigger on it about it. And so there may be an MMTLP resolution, but it's gonna come through like a merger later. Like
you think they may not though, and they'll just say like F you guys and just leave it?
Yeah, they're gonna trade it sideways forever if they can. Like, but then
I can't believe it. I'm like in denial of that.
If it becomes idiosyncratic, they'll put it in a basket and then turn it into an AI company and then let GameStop buy it, for example. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that, because they're consolidating everything to GameStop right now as the next holding company. So once that becomes the new standard, and 401ks are like, oh, you can buy GameStop now because that's the government approved, low risk, the one that we're going to keep growing now. Because it becomes like sanctioned in their FP or whatever that it takes. And then the GameStop's actual growth can be represented on the graph because it's not a threat to shorts anymore. It's like the new one that they have chosen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Be on the right side of this thing while a few banks collapse in the shadows and they try and like rerun psychology again for the next thing or whatever. But
makes me think of the Hunger Games when at first like they hate Katniss and then they're like, okay, now let's turn you into the poster child of the Hunger Games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like that. And then she ends up like, spoiler alert, by killing the main guy, and then like it's a revolution, and then but probably it's just gonna start again or whatever. Like,
Yeah, let's see.
Like,
Well, let's see. The future's exciting and weird and corrupt and everything's crazy, but let's see what happens.
yeah, we're still watching Bed Bath and Beyond. It's kind of like MMTLP. I think it's
Yeah, I saw something come out recently that like Bed Bath and Beyond just resolved like one thing or something. I don't know. They just had I don't know. I had it on my Twitter, but
they can hide the obligation covering in a merger. Like if they're really closing 10 billion in shorts on Bed Bath and Beyond, they can like have GameStop take it, get tax credit, GameStop price blow up by that amount as the money moves, where then they can be like, oh, there was no shorts in Bed Bath and Beyond. It was the merger why the price corrected. And then the obligations are closed, but the price does correct.
I hardly even know what this means. I just know it means like it's not over. Like apparently this came out yesterday or something, like a settlement or something. But basically, DK Butterfly is still being resolved. Therefore, like it's even more proof that like the shares might not be worthless.
Well, and all of these are good for like pre-IPO stuff. So now when the company does finally put this on the table, they already cleared the court backlog. So they're not going to get sued. They already did all this stuff.
It's so cool.
So like they're going to just, it's not going to be market manipulation. It's like this been in court getting approved. So but it's kind of like XRP, like the SEC held it up for like 4 years as like, but during that time, it just popped like 300% and then maintained the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, and it was fully sanctioned after that. So it had to get corrected before the mechanism was implemented. And I don't think that one's over either because like
totally.
It like what you think they're gonna pump Dogecoin again? It's gonna be probably a new leverage.
Right. I feel like we're getting a little like smarter for that. Like back in the day, it was like, whoa, cool, random things, and now it's like, okay.
That's why XRP, because the technology's there, so like the narrative and the logic plug in, and then also the mechanisms there because they're gonna need to pump a crypto and it's gonna have to stay high because it's XRP.
We need the fundamentals.
Yeah, it's XRP because Dogecoin like pumped and now it's been brought back down like AMC. You know, like it got walked all the way back down, and then so like as new leverages were tethered, they need new, better, stronger, fresh leverages to maintain whatever. And not that they couldn't re-tether Dogecoin and pump it again, but they would have to like clear the previous obligations to like reset that. And that's what it's all about. It's about clearing obligations and why we're not pushing for short covering. We're looking for short closing because it used to work. Closed economies used to work with like the ancient Rome. They would, if they took out a bank loan and they didn't pay it back, they defaulted and then they're not credible to get another loan. And that's how it should work. But now they're like, oh, students who went to college can't get loans, but whoever has money gets loans. And it's like, what? There's no merit involved. And now you just give loans to horrible people because they bought you. And then, so that's all got to change. And that is what changes with a company like GameStop becoming the new retail-driven holding company, because that's where the middle class is going to birth again.
Yeah.
It will be bigger than just GameStop, but it's going to start there because the money is going to have to start from somewhere. And there's not another mechanism on the table for anything like this right now.
Yeah.
Like what, Nvidia going to deliver retail massive money? Like, no, GameStop's becoming the mechanism. And it's not that it's a handout, but now the government's behind this and they know the math and the history behind like all these concepts. So they're running the clown show or whatever about it. And there are some bad players, but if Trump really is the outlier here, it's almost make or break time because he's about to let the whole economy inflate. Like we see oil prices right now. That's the precedent here. So If he cuts rates, oil prices go back down, actual bubbles start popping. If rates go up, gas goes up way more. It's harder for everybody for how much longer? While housing prices just stay unstable and unmaintainable, and they get older, and the collateral just when I went to business school, they had us calculate like it's called depreciation, and it's like the effect of time on your assets. If you own a car shop and you buy a bunch of machines and it's all brand new and you spend $1 million, and then you run the car shop for 10 years, now all your machines are 10 years old. So you can't sell them like brand new machines. They're all used. So you lose some money there. But you hopefully made more revenue than your losses, and that's how you offset your balance sheet and become profitable. But the depreciation factor happens on all assets. So if you're holding houses and they're just getting older, they're depreciating.
Except for tradables, except for collectibles.
Well, so right.
Well, and probably other stuff too,
but
that's
so
what
GameStop buying all these collectibles while banks are just holding houses. But the whole time housing has been depreciating, the price has just been going up. When they hold debt as an asset.
Yes.
Well, then since AMC has debt, it's just so horrible. Like it's just the snake has ate so much of the tail now. It's like the circle's so small, it can't eat any more of itself. So it just stuck there now until it dies. Like that's it.
Nasty analogy, but so true.
It's almost complete here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could rant forever. I don't have any more super points to hit, but we could discuss behind the scenes if it's worth putting any more content out. You can make clips of these, whatever you need. And
yeah, sure. I think we can summarize a lot of this stuff, and I think it'd be really cool in the future to deep dive into, I don't know, the topic of your choosing, whatever you think.
Maybe like in 3 months, we're going to be dealing with a whole new environment already. So like, just a lot can happen in a little bit of time now.
I agree. I think it's really cool to like stop and look at the situation now and what's going on now. And I feel like, there'll be just so much.
The VIX real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to drive a point.
Then after that, we'll get going. Let me see.
It's just something about the nature of the VIX. It's the volatility index.
I'm like, LOL, you remember that guy that was on YouTube all the time named Short the VIX? And then he like was part of like, I don't know. There's just been so many like fake YouTubers and fake people that were like.
So you would short that if you think the economy is going to be calm, but you would bet on the VIX if you think shit's about to hit the fan and it's going to be volatile because you're betting.
Okay, so what does this mean here? What is the VIX? It's like lower for all time, but like 5 years it's up, but 1 year it's down. What's going on?
It means there's like high volatility, which means like price movement. So at those big spikes, that's when GameStop went from like $200 to $500. It was not stable at any price for that whole time because it was like very volatile. Like if you have a metal that's volatile, it's probably like in liquid form because you can move it. But if it's solid and hard, it's not volatile because it's hard. It doesn't move. It's not resistant to change, or it's resistant to change a lot. And so if you draw a line, click the 5 year.
Okay.
It consolidates it a little easier. Actually, on this one, it doesn't. Click 1 year. Okay, yeah, no, it looks wild. We had a wild year. It's been low volatility, but it's increasing. Okay, so go back
I guess just like compared to the like, because we're starting at such a crazy point or something. I don't know.
Well,
it was wild here. Probably this was, I don't even know what. Like
the stock market always looks wild on like January 1st because it's the new year. So they'll like
in March. What is up with March? Like this is March.
Always pump everything on December 31st and then roll it into the new year at the new price. So it's like the books look good for the year or whatever. Like they always so it's always crazy shit on December 31st. But so if you draw like on any of these, it'll work. But if you click the all one again, where it just zooms back out, if you draw a line at the very top, like a vertical line,
right?
Like
up there,
yeah, like that one. No, just one at the very top and the very bottom.
I wonder if you could draw. I'm like trying to see if you look. Oh yeah, you can. Hold on. So 5 years, No, all.
Yeah, you can do all.
Okay.
Yeah, draw
Oh
like
my
a
god,
line.
this is so funny. This is so funny. They have these like tools.
Oh no, not like that, like a vertical line.
Oh, okay. Like that?
No, I meant a horizontal line. I'm so sorry.
No worries, no worries. Let's add a bunch of these. We'll look like true, you know.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, there you go. Just put lines all over it.
Okay, yeah. Here's
Okay,
the bottom.
Do one at the bottom. Do one at the bottom.
Okay. I was joking, but it's perfect. Okay.
It would be lower on the bottom. I'm talking about like.
Yeah, I know, but then it didn't exactly work.
Right. Okay. So, but now that it's like visualized this way, the top and the bottom line, just think about those. So this thing bounces between those two lines all day. If it's a highly volatile situation, meaning prices are going to move a lot,
right?
S&P 500 moves down and 2%, which is like $5 trillion or whatever. And then that's some in NVIDIA, some in Microsoft, some in Google, and all those prices move. $2 trillion is a lot of money. So that's going to contribute to a lot of volatility. Those prices move down a little bit, cause other stuff to move up a lot. You probably got bank collateral pumping up 10,000% somewhere in the shadows. That's high volatility because there's a lot of movement going on. Like the weight of money moved, and now it's like stirring up the waves a ton. If you look at it like throwing a rock in the water is very riled up immediately, and then it's going to calm down.
Right.
So when it spikes up to the top and touches the top line, that's when that stuff is like maxed out. That's when there's the most movement, the most rocks hitting the water right in that second, like most action about money. And then so when it's at the bottom, that's when it's like calm and boring, and like your stock probably didn't move today. And so there's big spikes that go up and touch the line and come back down, and that's all controlled. The volatility is controlled through their mechanisms. But then when each time it touches the top is during like the housing market crash in 2008, or like when COVID started. That's
like
those
GME squeeze. This must have been that
connected, right? You already saw that trend, so you put a line between those two events, the 2008 and the 2020. So
either COVID or GameStop, one of these.
So you've highlighted like the maximum volatility allowed within the chain.
Oh, yeah.
So when the MOASS happens, if it's going to be a step up,
it'll go above this, you think?
Move. It's not going to be like the VIX spiking to infinity and then coming back down.
Oh.
It's going to go up to the top line and then just stay at the top line.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then so it means it's going to stay correcting
for a while until it's finally correcting, and that's the unwinding of the.
And then it'll come back down.
Fibonacci.
That's like my signal for like AMC's not going to hit the top until somewhere in the middle of that.
Right.
That's already going to be going on. Then I'll start. It's like the utilization of shares thing with GameStop. It's like it's maxed out forever. As soon as it drops, like movement happens, and then so that pattern's changed a little bit over time because that has to do with borrowing, and then they're re-leveraging into different leverages over time. It's how like there's a correlation between AMC and GameStop, but it's getting less and less over time because they've been moving leverages this whole time, making it less and less correlated as they try and hide their obligations in different places to buy more time and get more bailouts through whatever mechanisms to maintain until it's all over. And now we're getting to the point where we had to go bomb Iran to keep this thing trading sideways for another day. So I'm thinking that
today's kind of a really crazy day.
Just that much closer. And you got Trump having the market teeter on his tweets, and he's talking about he's doing dates now, which is like not accurate, but he's like, oh, April 8th, 8 p.m. Shit's down. And then Iran will just comment on it like jokingly, like, could you actually do 3 p.m.? Like
that was like, I saw like one of their representatives in Ethiopia or something like.
And as silly as that all is, but really the market's tethered to Trump's tweets though. So it's not that silly. Like, if he's tweeting that extreme, we got the fear gauge maxed out. And then, so that has to do with like investor sentiment. And then if people are calling apes crazy this whole time, but fear gauge is at all-time low. That means that the word on the street, they're not necessarily believing the word on the street that apes are just crazy. Because if that's the thing and everyone's doubting it, it might not be the thing. Probably people are like, oh no, apes actually have rational points that have withstood 5 years. But then the media can't like say that. So then that never gets covered. But then that's what sentiment shows. Like we're having the fear gauge max, the leverages that have been used in the past aren't working any longer. The graph just looks like a horrible crime scene on AMC. It's like, so there, it becomes so much writing on the walls where it's undeniable at some point. And then Adam Aaron is banking on that. And I want to say he knows it, but it's like anything can happen. They could keep AMC down forever. Hopefully not. But like I wouldn't be surprised. That's why it's like I'm willing to take the risk. I think it's less risky than just hoping Nvidia doubles again. But it's also less risky than holding a bunch of money if they're just going to keep printing it. So it's about mitigating risk. And if everything's risk, I think we're in the lowest risk place. And then if media is backwards, it makes sense that they would call it the highest risk place. It's just all the logic is there. So like from the inversion of their narrative for what's reality and what's actually playing out, the AMC's a win. Like this is the most suppressed, bullish looking graph ever. And
by the way,
politics to be lining up, it's good.
What do you think about this whole to infinity? Number one, Roaring Kitty's brother keeps saying infinity nonstop and beyond. Look at the freaking White House over here saying and beyond.
Yeah, and they use like the ape emojis. It's like,
give me a break. So let's see. I don't know. All right.
And I'm not going to speculate on the GameStop merger, or like what companies or like when, because like if the government
been doing that for years,
stuff, it might not be on an exact timeline. It might just be like, okay, we're acknowledging the timeline and now we're stepping in. So it might change the final details of the timeline.
Totally. That's where everyone keeps saying like RC pull the trigger. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if he could, he would have a while ago. And it seems like there's a lot more going on here than
but also him not doing it is part of his strength. So
part of also, the AMC getting lower and lower and lower, and there's a lot. But what were you gonna say?
It's just that's a harder strategy to execute. Like I think he's a good CEO because he can walk that walk. It's easier to already have put the announcement on the table and not carry the burden of the stress. But he's carrying that burden, and he's like, no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient with this product that I already want to release to you.
Yeah.
Because it's not perfect yet. And it's going to be perfect when we release it. So that's the right way to do it. And so
that's like really cool. It's so cool. Oh, this is so, I don't know. There's a lot going on.
And we already discussed how Adam Aaron's kind of on the opposite foot of that, where he just like can't even talk. And that makes sense if his company's even bigger and the idiosyncratic risk is actually
crazy.
They're going to step on him harder in the shadows. And also he's older, has more experience, has a good track record. He knows the right people. And even though he's associated with groups like Boston Consulting Group, yada, yada in the past and stuff, like Ryan Cohen too, like they know better. So they just like are the moves they make show they don't.
They've learned their lessons.
None of Adam Aaron's previous businesses like wanted to declare bankruptcy at any point.
And he saved them.
Right. And it took a long time and it was through complicated mechanisms.
Yeah.
It did happen each time. Like go read Adam Aaron's Wikipedia page. It's pretty cool. And not that I'm like, oh, he's like better than anybody. He's just like a regular guy who got put in a good position, but he's doing the right moves with what he is handed. Like he's getting good cards in his hand and playing them well. And as far as the dilution argument, we kind of hit the major crack in it. It's like AMC could dilute to 15 billion shares and still be smaller than Apple. So that's really not an argument. And especially if they're going to claim debt as a asset. If debt's an asset, AMC drowning in assets over here since COVID. You know what I mean? Which doesn't make sense. And debt has never been an asset until
it conveniently needs to be.
Right, like 1971 when they disconnected gold, and then they're like, "Oh, gold's a liability, but if you owe somebody money because you're irresponsible, that's the future." And it had to do with them writing off banking into the defaulting or making money and having success with the loans rather than just paying one off on interest forever and never covering loans. And then so once the first generation of that passed, everyone else was fucked because then it was just a debt handoff to the next generation. And then the problem is that it's still going. We're talking about some of this debt being like baseless because it's like from like 400 years ago. And then it's spread through like different countries per like their today's actions. So like if you look at the United States, $40 trillion in debt, what is that and who do we owe it to? And if you break it down, we owe China some, Russia some of our other countries some.
But mostly it's just like illegitimate, just stuff there.
The A books of bank fraud that have been allocated into those numbers. So like it's not as big and bad as it looks, but then it's worse than it looks because while the numbers are fake, that means it's not as bad as it looks. But then the fact that the numbers are fake, that's bad. So like that's why the nature of this correction has to be like throat cutting. We need to hang some fucking treason people because this isn't like, oh, oops, I didn't know a rule and I was doing it a little wrong.
It's like the system is built off of
been propagating whatever problems through my position, but then it's like the new SEC chair, for example. They briefed her on the whole position. As soon as she was about to take over, she was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely not doing this job," and just left instead. And it's
crazy.
like,
I wonder if that was all an act. I don't know. It kind of like waves some flags for people that aren't paying so much attention. But okay, to wrap it up, I have 3 questions for you. What have you been most hyped about lately? Among this whole thesis.
AMC at $1, good value. Hell yeah.
AMC what?
AMC at $1.
Okay.
You Adam Aaron.
What are your concerns for just anything coming up?
My concerns are growing less and less because I've been working hard to maintain my life growing on that trajectory, and I'm doing better than I was in 2021. And now it's even more optimistic if this is what I believe in the path I'm on. So AMC's got a lot of work to do to get this debt under control, but like they want to do it. And then that's what running a company is about. So like I have no worries almost. The revenues are getting restored. It's going to be a lot of weight on the earnings disclosed, the EBITDA or EBITDA, whatever that statistic.
EBITDA.
Yeah, the earnings before or whatever, all that. That number is going to start looking real good as we get that overhead on the theaters, as they're like producing more revenue and the obligations are more easily covered. And then I think we're going to see like the narrative change because once we're not having a cash bleed, now it's a war chest of money, whether it's $5 billion or only $500 million, because
it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane.
So like the whole narrative has to change as that eclipses, as we like level out at $1. So like
the
now,
best price ever.
And we're talking about how if it pops just a little bit, Adam Aaron can capitalize and just clear the debt, and then there's no more fear of dilution. So while there might be a little more dilution, then that's it. And then,
right.
Or it's like it becomes the different nature of the dilution. If he's like, all right, we paid off the debt, now I want to dilute some more, so we just have a shit ton of money. Like, and then it becomes the different.
Crazy.
But then it's like in the profitability direction, which if the company it's a survival game, they win already at that point. They already survived, and now it's like they're running a company. It's not like shorts can play.
Yeah, and then they can start competing with movie producers, Netflix, freaking all
Yeah,
sorts of
well,
things. It's
all
gonna be
these other
amazing.
movie
Like,
producers.
This world is set up for them to succeed with just a couple of new ideas after they're out of debt.
Well, all the rest of them are stuck in court with Epstein and shit right now. So it's like they're not gonna be able to like, oh, let me make a better company than AMC or now to compete. Like, no, they're about to just like be stuck in not good things, and that's more part of the treason stuff coming out. And like probably it started with P. Diddy, and then he probably told all his friends. That's why he got a good terms for his prison sentence. Same thing probably with Caroline Ellison. That's why she's already out.
Right.
Like those type things. And so I expect this DOJ investigation to actually like drop some news soon. It's going to be like some major shit because you saw that Project Veritas thing that I showed you where they're just like in California on the streets and people are like selling votes to homeless people for their signatures for like a cigarette. And it's like, that's illegal. That's a misdemeanor and can be a felony because they're doing it over and over. So they're committing this misdemeanor like thousands of times voting. And if voting's rigged, then they can install whoever and then rig an economy. And then it's going to be all the same algorithm. And then we're kind of looking at some shit like that. So Trump just did away with mail-in voting. There's not going to be mail-in voting this time. So we're about to see different statistics than we've been seeing on the voting. And if all of a sudden they were claiming like, oh, Joe Biden had 80 million views or votes or whatever.
Not right. It was like the most votes ever. Of
all of a sudden.
But then if it drops a lot.
And then there's only 10 million total votes next time.
Right.
Proves everything that we said. Right. So
and then my last question for you is kind of, you covered it quite a bit, but what are your predictions for some of these companies over the next few weeks? I know you said you don't really think anything's going to pop off till May. So what do you think is going to happen in the next few weeks? Crickets?
Yeah, crickets. I think GameStop not going to say anything about the merger and then just let the pressure keep building in its little wedge of time left that it has before Jerome Powell gets out. Because that's where the banking trajectory looks. It's like once Jerome Powell moves and that's situated, banks can like position again. And then we're going to see some moves because that's going to line up with like swap calendars, meme stock anniversaries, new positions. It can all be in the same like month there. So like, and that's when they lose control of leverages. So like if Jerome Powell can't oversee their leverage getting taken advantage of any longer, and there's a new guy who doesn't let that happen, then banks have to figure something else out or pay up. And then probably they're ready to pay up now. It's been 5 years and the government had been getting bailouts ready and ready to point the finger at who they're going to point it at, and they got the place they're going to blame. And so I'm hoping AMC drop back down to $1.10 so I can get some more at a good price, because I was buying it like $1.30, and then so now that it's around there, like I could still keep buying.
Okay,
I have money ready, settled now. We were talking about that it took so long for my cash to settle.
Right. Yeah, it ended the day up a tiny bit
because I just like wasn't allowed to buy, and that whatever that
crazy.
On me, but they're like, oh, that money you gave us that you already earned. Oh yeah, well like, we have to confirm it for a month first. It's like, oh, well, that sounds like y'all just borrowed my money for a month.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what they do during that time? They ran the price up where I can't even buy in. So it's like, probably, and I'm not saying like I had anything to do with that, but probably there's a lot of people trying to buy like me at 98 cents. And they're like, oh, we got to like get out of the zone because they're going to buy too much. And we're probably still going to buy too much at $1.30 because
totally
it's the time. But I think they think we're stupid still. Like they're just still gonna, even though
if they actually think we're stupid.
No, but they're gonna just keep that going. They're not gonna abandon the narrative yet. So that we're just stupid until further notice, even though we already proved we're not. So they're like, oh, we can drop it back down 98 cents and they won't buy it. Like in denial that we're sitting there ready to buy it.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
And then they're just.
I'll tell you one tiny more thing. Before we go. I met two people this week who worked in fintech. One literally started a finance company, and then the other one was an intern for like 6 years working, making trading platforms for Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. I asked both of them, what was your involvement with the DTCC? and both of them had never heard of the DTCC. Even the founder of a fintech company.
A lot of that, like I remember when I was in college, and then I had like a friend, and then it was hard to respect this guy because like he was an idiot, and like I'm not gonna name drop him or anything, but like he had like no logic behind his things. He would do shit just because like it was like culture. And so
It's
I
just so
remember
insane how like need to know basis that industry is, and the fact that people like don't even know the
he
the
started
overview of every single trade.
he started his own non-profit organization supporting Black Lives Matter. And I was just like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever fucking heard. Like, first of all, it's a fake narrative. It doesn't even represent Black people. And you're like funding a non-profit, like a charity or trust group behind that narrative to profit. And so all the business teachers and shit were like, oh, that's a good idea. And I was just thinking like, no, that's like fucking dumb. Like I'm out here thinking like, oh, I want to start a company to change the world. And he's like, how can I capitalize on how stupid everyone else is? And it's like that business model considered smart. And it was like, all he did was just create a vessel for complete fraud.
That sounds like quote unquote sounds good to people that won't speak up. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Dude, it was so dumb. And then I was like, wow, this country really is doomed. If that's just
no, the apes will save the day. The apes will save the day.
Yeah, or we'll just get killed.
No,
don't strike all apes at once. They're watching us.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course they're watching us, but
yeah, and they're gonna say we
I
all.
don't know. I hope people are relieved, and hopefully, I think there's more good than bad. It's just the time is now for change.
Right, the bad just has the media or whatever
for a little bit longer. So yeah. All right. Well, for me, my predictions, what I'm most hyped about, like I said, I don't know. I'm pretty hyped about AMC's amazing quarter. I'm pretty hyped about Kevin Gill giving the nod to AMC and people realizing, because I think AMC rising will have a huge ripple effect on everything.
So it bumping right now is interesting too with that going on, because he technically started talking about AMC like a week ago.
Officially, directly, yeah. I mean, he did
like right after he talked.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. For me, that was the bottom. I was like, oh my god, there's no possible way this is the bottom. On top of Hail Mary,
different because he's been talking about some stuff for a while,
but never directly that. And then now he's saying like, we are brothers, the two of us. Like he keeps talking like representing both of them.
And really, no, it's just the bot armies is what be like, oh, GameStop only, GME elite.
Exactly, but now it's undeniable. Like that's what I'm saying. The people truly paying attention, and now it's already up like 28%, 30%. Like I'm so happy right now because I really hadn't bought in years, and now I'm already like back up like almost 30%. And I'm like, woohoo!
I hear you. So my position's averaged down so hard. It's like that too for me, but like I still want to buy more.
Yeah,
I was ready to buy more, so I'm like, I want those before it goes up because like it just. I might as well double my position one more time. That's that.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, let's get back on here sometime when we have, we can talk a bit and figure out what would be worth talking about. And I think especially as momentum starts to build. And
yeah, definitely. If you have like important people that know stuff, like bring them on. We'll
I only have one. I only know one, but yeah, maybe we could find, see if anyone else wants to. I would love to hear like, get a couple more people or at least one more person in here and work together and ask some questions. And again, I think it'll be really worth it here. And like over the next few months, as things start to pop off, doing a bit of like what's going on for new people and also like what's going on. As
everybody kind of gets on the same page, then we can move forward.
There's more interest.
We already did 3 videos that is like 10 hours long, like breaking all this down. So it's like people can catch up with all that stuff. And now we're staying current. So now
exactly. It's so cool.
It's like current events, and then bringing people in, and the more opinions is better because it's like the public square thing I was talking about. We don't want to moderate anyone or shut any ideas down. We need everything on the table to ensure there really aren't any holes in this theory like that we're having like as apes, because like, and that's why we'll be public about it and test the waters everywhere, because like if apes were wrong, how come in 5 years it still hasn't been proven that we're wrong?
Right.
All we're doing is like, prove us wrong, we'll go away.
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole BBBYQ thesis too. So
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks so much. This is always really important and fun to talk about. And it's just going to keep getting better.
Yeah, so I'm not speculating. I'm just hopeful, and my immediate plan is to buy more shares if possible. And I'm gonna go see the Super Mario movie and keep buying video games.
And did you already get your tickets, by the way, or are you going to get them last minute? Because everything's selling out. You know, hopefully you'll get.
Oh, I want to show you this real quick before I hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So I bought a Nintendo Switch 2.
Yesterday, I met someone who didn't know what a Switch was, or like 2 days ago. I was like, "You don't know what a Switch is? Where are you?"
Okay. Yeah, like I bought all this stuff at GameStop.
I'm like, wait a minute, where do we show and tell? Let me get you something amazing.
Yeah, so I went and like when I bought the Switch 2, I posted on my Reddit about it. Like I posted a selfie with it. It got like thousands of votes and shit. Like,
Okay, what is it?
I posted my receipt where I spent like $600 at GameStop, and like so I was gonna start just posting my receipts every time I go to GameStop, but I didn't want to like get doxxed because people were commenting like, "Don't post your details; they're gonna steal all your points." And so now every time I go to GameStop, since I like spent that, I'm a rewards member or whatever. I have AMC stubs too, so I'm gonna go get discounts in my movie later. But so I'll get discounts every time I buy games at GameStop now. So I'm getting better prices than anybody. Like there's a game listed, and I'll get discounts on it. So like I bought like all these games already. Like I just been buying games and like $80 games each.
You should start reviewing games. And by the way, this is what I want to show. These are my AMC slippers.
Right. But I bought all these at GameStop. I just been spending thousands of dollars on games that like I collect these. So I still have like my old GameCube and an Xbox 360 and like tons of games and stuff. I will hand them down to my kids probably, you know.
Cool.
But it's like I'm supporting the company. I bought this case there. Like even without buying this stock, it just like it's not like I'm like I only buy video games because I support GameStop stock. It's like, no, dude, whatever forces at play tried to take GameStop during COVID, bro. Like,
yeah,
playing video.
Okay, I do need to get going soon, but I also want to tell you at my daughter's daycare every day she has in nap time has an AMC blanket. I'm like, I love, I'm like, yeah, I love that these but GameStop hasn't sold any GameStop merch in a while. I have their limited edition socks and their limited edition sweatshirt, but they're not freaking making those anymore for any. I'm ready for them to make. They know it. Like, what are they doing? Not making more shirts and stuff with their stuff on it.
Well, so if they're still closing down stores, I think their online retail part is gonna keep growing. So like, it's gonna be a freaking
GameStop shirt.
Right, they're gonna be all
they're doing this all strategically,
whatever products in their online store.
It's clever. But I give them a tough time.
Write Ryan Cohen like a letter, just be like,
I'm telling them freaking all the time on LinkedIn, get your freaking socks back. I'm telling them all the time, so they know what they're doing. Anyway, let's see if MOASS pops off a bit, and then you and I will officially meet in person at the in Grapevine, Texas.
Yeah, I know we were trying to meet up like before, but like every time I get money,
we could go meet at the freaking quarterly, the yearly annual report. You know what I mean? We'll make it a party. I'm so excited. Let's see though. My income's so tight right now. I'm not buying. I hardly have enough money to buy all those games like you, but.
Well, and when now it being the time to buy these stocks, we can meet later.
Yeah. I guess I'm just saying the annual report would be so fun to go like woohoo, and then we'll be like woohoo. Yeah, I'm so We'll see. We'll see.
I want to go to those kind of events too. Like I'll see they're speaking and like, but it's like, dang, I realistically have to take off work, get all the way there, and then it's like that's a lot of shares I sacrifice being able to get right now.
Right.
And it's not that that's what it's all about, but I know that this is crunch time, and not everyone knows what I know, so it's up to me to be doing that because not everyone else would do it. But then also it's like a limited time thing. So if I miss that opportunity, totally.
Exactly. Exactly. But I told you, I'm going to see Marcus Lemonis. I'm seeing Marcus Lemonis in a couple weeks. I found it's like a $36 ticket for some event he's speaking at. So anyway,
Cool. Yeah, let me know how
And
that
I
goes.
just went to the Flexport event this morning online. So
Oh yeah, you were gonna tell me about that with Tesla, right?
no, well, I don't even want to say this out loud really, but all I know is that something weird happened with my AI, and I was talking about Flexport's partnership with GameStop, and then suddenly it titled it Flexport partnership with Tesla, and I was like, why did you say that? I literally have never talked about Tesla before, and it was like, oh, what did I just do? I don't know. So we'll see if Flexport teams up with Tesla. My AI told me something it shouldn't have, which I literally went to an event on this week about how sometimes bots are sharing more information than they need. But anyway, we can get into it another time. Let's see.
And there's also like not only the
awesome
AI
now.
bubble, but like the clean energy bubble. And then Elon Musk kind of like sits at the top of both of
Yeah,
those.
a lot of people think that like X is involved, and there's
That's
a
why
lot-
him buying OnlyFans is a big deal, because if he owns his own private charity and his own insurance company and his own pharmaceutical company and his own space station, and he's going to buy the prostitution network, and he's just going to like,
the whole world.
yeah, he's going to monopolize like megacorp into like mega corp. Like, I
And
don't
he's
know.
been posting a lot of
Megacorp.
beautiful like AI generated women lately, so it makes me think he might actually buy OnlyFans. All right.
Well, he said he's going to buy it to shut it down. but
Right. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
More
Okay.
accurate, but really we need that kind of a front movement too, because like if OnlyFans is really the largest donor of all politicians by far,
Yeah.
that means all the fucking fattest, sleaziest, gross men who are funding fucking porn are the
Yeah.
ones installing politicians to
The
fuck
lonely.
everybody, which is horrible to think about. It's so messed up. Like,
All right, Devin, go to your movie.
all
Get
right.
some popcorn. Get some merch. Get the Yoshi bucket if you can.
Oh, I have a friend who's collected all of those so far. Like he's got
Wow.
the Dune bucket that looked weird, and he's got all this Mario
Oh my
stuff, and like, yeah, he's like all about it. The Star Wars ones, so those are collectibles now too. I'm sure they're gonna end up in someone's collection someday, and end
I'm
up
sure
on
they're gonna end up at GameStop somehow. That's what I was just thinking, dude. This popcorn's really good, by the way. I got it this weekend. It's kettle corn. All right, thanks. Let's we'll see each other soon. I don't know when we'll do another one of these, but
Yeah, cool. We'll catch up.
all right, guys. Thanks for joining, audience, and all your comments. Just kidding. We'll figure out how to get people to comment in the future. Once this is undeniable, people will be chatting. But
Right, what DFE was streaming to 3 people before?
was he? See, aw.
Before he blew up, he was just blurting stock information to people on the internet for like a whole year. And
Aw.
then videos you see of him are from that time when he just was streaming to nobody. But now they're famous because they like played it later, and they're like, look at this guy we're talking about
See?
this in like 2018.
Okay, well, hopefully one day Wall to the Vault is famous too. I'll put that out there, but we won't get into that right now. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Anyway, there's that throwback for the future. All right. See you guys later, and have an amazing time at the movie. And give us a movie review of Project Hail Mary too. I want to hear that next time. You gotta go see it. Devin, I'm talking to you. All right.
Oh yeah.
Bye. What?
I got to see Project Hail Mary still.
You
also.
got to. All right. Here's my nice song about human trafficking. See you guys.
No, this how they glamorize storage units. No, this how they glamorize shipping yard. No, this how they glamorize shipping containers. No, this how they glamorize luxury cars. I don't know why, but I can't pass by all these red alerts on the land in the sky. Cause we see those islands, hear their crying. Why? It's my cry. I am hearing these things and it's all lining up. It's the people crowded into the truck. Cross the borders, farm behind the scenes. Yeah, there's traffic, traffic, if you know what I mean. No, this how they glamorize storage. No, this how they glamorize shipping. No, this how they glamorize shipping. got caught, cause you want everything you've not got, but you've not got yet. But take a bet, your addictions will get you into regret. They ask for your name and you sign your will. Away it goes, all for a thrill, but the whistle is blown. They're coming out, cause we're starting to see what it's all about. No, notice how they glamorize storage. Boom, 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 boom. No, notice how they glamorize shipping, yeah. No, notice how they glamorize shipping containers. Boom, 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 boom. No, notice how they glamorize luxury. The blood and pain, no hidden in plain sight. It's torturing this blame, 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 blame. Yeah, there's gotta be a way for a brighter day. I refuse to let it be another way. No, notice how they glamorize storage. No, notice how they glamorize shipping. No, notice how they glamorize shipping danger.
Can't stop till they're in trouble. Inflating, diluting, ashamed. Outdated, they're playing a crooked game. But that bubble, it must pop, 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 and your game stop. Let it go, build back on top. As we boom our business to the top. Pop, pop. Ooh, that's a bubble.
Fools can't stop till they're in trouble.
Inflating, diluting, ashamed, outdated. They're playing a crooked game, the past gated. But that bubble, it must pop, 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 and your game stop. Let it pupil back on top, 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 as we boom our business to the